I don't have anybody coming in yet, so. All right. It is Friday night, and I have no life, so I am here on YouTube to invite any and all to join the chat if they choose. The link is going up in the chat right now. I think. Yep. There you go. In the comments. Let's see. And banners, I'll throw up the Hive Alive discount code. If you use the link and use the discount code at checkout, helps you save 10%, helps me make a couple bucks if I ever get a sale. So whatever. It is what it is. If you use Hive Alive, save 10%. Otherwise, doesn't really matter. If you're here, please say hi in the chat. And that way Lee, come on in, Lee. I need someone to talk to, but not for 5.5 hours like last night. So I did something today, and if Lee comes in, we'll talk about it and see what he thinks. It may or may not. It may be epic fail. If it is, I will not be a happy beekeeper. Because, matter of fact, let me take my glasses off. I don't need to read. But it's kind of a crazy thing I did. Maybe I felt like I needed to do something with the colony, and as soon as somebody comes in here, we can discuss it and see what they think. So hopefully Lee from Kodiak Farms would jump in, and we'll see what's going on. I don't know who else is in here. Somebody else is in here. So please say hi. Oh, he's here. Good. Cool. What's going on? I don't know who else is in here. Somebody else is in here. So please say hi. Oh, he's here. Good. Cool. Hey, I don't know who else is in here. Somebody else is in here. So please say hi. I'm here for feedback. Oh, he's here. Good. Cool. Hey, there you go. That's better.
Yeah, I had to turn off my other screen.
I gotcha. So, how was work today after that long? Hey,
it was Jonathan. A long one.
I know how that is, man. When I go to work, I got to be to work at 2 a.m. normally. So, like when I stay up for like Brian and those guys live stream, and it goes to like 10 and 11, and by the time I get to sleep, it feels like you just close your eyes and the alarm's going off to get up.
That's how it was this morning.
And sometimes it's like, I feel like it'd be better if I just didn't go to sleep. If I just stayed up, take a shower, refresh, grab a cup of coffee or something, and go.
Yep.
So,
I still got gloves on. I was in here bottling honey.
I sold my last honey today, the last that I had. So
I think I got 2 5-gallon buckets left. So I'm getting low.
Oh, you know what, man? I had to do something crazy today, and I did that video last week with the triple deep colony, and I didn't know what to do because of the brood box was getting pollen and nectar bound. And hey Wayne, hey Dry Cut, and everything. So I went out there today, and I was like, I got to do something with this colony. It's going to be raining the next few days and a little bit cooler, so they weren't going to be out foraging, and they would be using some of those resources. So I figured there was something I had to do something. So I did a Demarest split, which the bad thing was they were calling for rain, but it was overcast and not raining and a little bit cool when I went to start to do it. And damn if I didn't get my new brood box down there with the drawn comb, and I'm going through, frame by frame trying to find the queen, and I find the queen, and I put her down with 2 frames of brood, put the honey excluder on, or honey excluder, the queen excluder, and the queen excluder, and then it starts to rain. And I'm still manipulating the boxes. The new bottom board is wet, and it's supposed to get cold tonight. Now I'm like, did I just kill my whole colony by putting moisture in the colony on a bad night? And it's one of those things that it's like this year has just kind of been that damned if you do and damned if you don't.
That's kind of how we were last year. Spring, we got so much rain. I mean, I think it was a record year. I was late July on some of my hives pulling honey because, I mean, the moisture was so high in the air, they couldn't even cap the honey off.
Well, I went out there to try to find my scope, but because it was overcast, I couldn't find my scope in the shed. I was going to run the probe up there to see if any of the bees actually moved down, because she just had the 2 brood frames down there in her, and then the excluder, and then the drawn comb that I had, and a couple, a frame with some pollen and nectar on it. And that's it, just to give her the brood box. But in the course of going through trying to find her, she laid out like 6 or 7 frames that had eggs on it in the other 2 boxes. But because it started to rain, I put everything back together. And from what I'm understanding, because this is my first time doing it, is that essentially the brood box that was on the bottom is now the second box over the excluder. But I watched Black Mountain Honey when he did it. He actually put 2 boxes of foundation, not deeps, but just medium honey supers in between to give them the separation between the brood that she's already laid and the colony, and where she is in the brood box in the bottom. So the bees from the top will migrate down and can come through the queen excluder, but they're far enough away that they feel like they're queenless in the top.
Keep that pheromone level down.
Yeah, so it's designed, I guess, to actually stop swarming, which is what I wanted to do. But the side benefit is that all of that open larva and brood, that they could generate queen cells. And then I can use those queen cells this week upcoming when it's 80 and make a bunch of splits.
Yeah.
That was my thought. But then when it started to rain and the cold temperatures, I started second guessing, did I just get my timing bad? Because nobody's going to have queens for a month. And if they're not going to have queens for a month, then it'll take me a month to hatch queens. I'll still be a month better off.
Yeah.
So it was one of those.
What's the temperature going to be there tonight?
It's showing. Let me go to my weather on my other computer here and refresh this. It's all right. So the funny part of this is it's supposed to get down to by 6 p.m. tomorrow night, 33 degrees. By 8, it's supposed to be 27, and 9 o'clock, it's supposed to get down to like 22 degrees by 11 o'clock tomorrow night. It was 85 3 days ago.
Same here. I mean, we're going to be, I think, 29 tomorrow night. But yeah, like you say, it's been 80, 85. So, now, we got some rain this evening. Just about the time I was getting off of work, it wants to start raining. That way, we got to walk to the parking lot in the rain.
Yeah, you're in the booth all day, right? Inside the crane, it's like dry outside, and when it should have been raining then. Yeah. A double screen bottom board would have probably been better if I had one, but I don't currently have any. So the only.
Do you have any extra inner covers with a little hole in the center?
Well, I know what you're saying. I could have just screened both sides of that up real quick and then dropped it on there, right?
Yeah, just for, a temporary fix.
So, but right now, it kind of is what it is till tomorrow. So during the day, at 4 a.m., it's going to be 60 degrees, but it's raining, and it's supposed to rain till about 10 a.m., and it's going to be in the 40s. So, but there's a lot of bees in that colony. That's why it was a triple deep to begin with. So,
Yeah, they should still be radiating a lot of heat, even with those mediums in the middle.
well, the problem is now she's got a few bees in the bottom, right? All the nurse bees and everything are tending to the larva and stuff that's open in the next two deeps, three deeps now. So it's 4 deeps tall. So the question is, are the rest of the bees going to come down to cluster with her, or are they just going to all stay spread out because of the way the brood is and everything in there?
You should get a little split of the nurse bees in the top and the bottom. Most of your foraging bees, when they go out and come back in, they're going to go to the closest area that they can. So they should stay in the bottom box and provide her with some heat and any other brood that was there.
And here's the other issue that I'm going to have, or that I thought about after the fact. This is that whole planning thing that I didn't do very well with this. I was like, yeah, that's what I need to do. And, now I've got drones, right, that can't go back. They can't go down through the excluder. They do have a upper exit with the inner cover, right, which I actually left the lid kind of cockeyed up, where it's still letting the rain run off, but they've got the little exit on top that they can get out.
The little small notch in the inner cover?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you was talking about that or you had a separate entrance.
No, and that was the other thing I was thinking about doing, just going out there and drilling a 3/4 hole in it and popping a disc on it for the top.
They should be able to fit through that. I mean, little entrance on the inner cover. You put too much hole on the top, and like you said, you got cool weather coming. Any excess heat's just going to leave the hive quicker.
Right.
The way I would look at it.
So my thought process was good, but I didn't take into consideration the temperature drop in doing it. And that's it's my best colony. It was my best honey producer. It's my strongest colony. And if I killed that colony today, or the queen, you'll see visual suicide on YouTube, virtual suicide. I'll be like, I can't believe it. But you'll
find out.
Yeah, and that's one thing I like doing on my YouTube. You're not going to see all of the good, just all the good stuff. You know what I mean? If you're doing that, you're really being unfair to your viewers that are taking the time to watch your content. If all you're showing them is the good stuff,
the good side,
it's not always good stuff. I made 10 splits and none of them have a queen. None of them are doing good. So it's it is what it is. The temperature goes from 85 to 22. Give me a break. Who does that? I actually saw someone post up a thing that it might snow tomorrow. I'm like, come on.
I cannot remember the last time we've had snow here.
We usually get snow about once a decade, and it doesn't even last a day. And we've had it like twice already this year, and maybe one more.
That's about us, once a decade maybe, but like I said, I can't even remember the last time.
And it's usually like a flurry. It hits the ground and melts because it's usually been raining, right? That's usually what happens. But this is going to be... yeah, you did. It wasn't 5 hours in. Hey, guys, this is a free-for-all. I posted the link. If anybody wants to join in, we're just going to shoot the breeze about beekeeping and whatever. I'm going to tell you something funny. My wife usually sits at a computer right behind me. That's one reason why I use this virtual background, is because she's doing stuff over there. She doesn't really want to be on camera. But the thing is that she listens to what we're talking about, right? And she was hearing me talk about the equipment I wanted to buy. And she went all in today. I was like, what are you doing? She's like, well, what if we just go ahead and get the $40,000 machine and just go ahead and finance it? I'm like, well, I really don't want to go in debt. She says, but it's a tax write-off, right?
True.
I said, it is. It'd be probably $800 a damn month, but it would be a tax write-off. But I mean, it's funny how it just kind of it grows. I mean, someone comes and this is, I don't know if people are like this where you're at. They came to get honey, and I said, man, this is all I've got left. I had a pint that's $12.50 and 1 pound that I sell for $10. That's what I got, And he's like, well, give me both of them. And I said, I don't even have any change in my pocket. He's like, well, here's $25, man. Don't worry about it,
Good tip.
Yeah, I mean, just doesn't, that's just kind of how it's been this whole honey season, where everybody is just, I need 10 bottles. Like, what the hell are you going to do with 10 jars of honey? I mean,
we slowed down a little bit in the winter. Like our farmers market, we do it every Saturday, but we shut down the month of January because after the holidays, everybody's wanting to break. A little bit cooler weather for Louisiana, cooler weather.
Right.
And we took off again in February. Now everything's starting to pick back up. Now, right before Christmas, I did have several people. I think it was 5 different people bought a case each. They was giving it out as Christmas gifts.
Oh, yeah. Well, you could also do stuff starting out earlier. Like if you were melting wax and you had all the stuff to do that get it really, really clean and do the candles and all that. Yeah. You could actually start stockpiling your candles and everything up and make little Christmas gift baskets.
Well, I had some candles. Well, they were, I think, 6.5, 7 inches tall. It was Christmas trees made out of beeswax. Now, the end of next month in April, in about 20 miles from here at Gonzales, they got the Crawfish Festival.
Right.
And they didn't have a honey producer, so they called me. I'm bringing honey over there. And that's an event from 6 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. And they said on average, 15 to 25,000 people come through there every year in one day.
Wow. How much honey did you end up pulling this season?
Last year, I pulled 449 pounds.
Wow, you did.
And that was my first year actually pulling honey. The year before, like I said, I had the one hive that I got right at the beginning of dearth.
Well, this was really a growth year for me. It was not really, I wasn't planning to do honey this year. I mean, I knew I was going to get some, but when you go from overwinning 4 nukes, and the 4 nukes ended up being, well, right now, at winter, right now, I have 12 double deep plus colonies from 4 overwintered nukes. So nice. I consider that a success. I didn't pull that much honey. I got, let me see, I got about 180 pounds is what I actually pulled.
Nice. So, I tell you, I was surprised last year because I started the season with the one swarm that I had overwintered. They were in a 5-frame nuke. I put them into a 10-frame at the beginning of the season, and then I bought the 8 other nukes. And so I had 9 total to start with. But like I said, mainly, I mean, they were nuke size, and I still pulled 449 pounds.
That's awesome.
But we have a lot of privet and a lot of tallow around here. Now, come fall, goldenrod, it was almost non-existent this year.
So we have, and we talked about this a little bit last night, kudzu. And we got kudzu everywhere. And I was trying to explain this to my customer that came to get the honey tonight was 2 miles from here, you'll get a totally different tasting, different looking, darker honey. And I've got beekeeper friends in the local area that don't understand that. Well, why is my honey so much darker than you? Well, let me explain something. First of all, you're keeping them on your front porch in a subdivision that has more people putting out flowers and more, azaleas and stuff like that are out, where I have mostly like jasmine, dogwood, some other stuff around, red tips and, the kudzu, a lot of the wild stuff just growing out in the woods. It's just different. So
let's see if I can pull something up here for you, if I remember where I keep everything.
I was trying to download that app, and I forgot what the app was. You said you take a picture of the flower.
Picture this.
You also inspired me. I pulled out my Nikon, and today's been a frustrating day because everything was in my camera bag except for the battery charger, and didn't know where the battery charger was. So I had to order one off of Amazon with 2 extra batteries. So I'm waiting on that to come in. My peppermint extract will be here tomorrow, so I can make my peppermint pollen patties. And we're going to do that experimental. I need to come up with a plan. Do I do a batch with no peppermint and then a batch with peppermint, 2 small quantities, and treat half my colonies with peppermint patties and half of them without the peppermint, and see which one has less beetles in it?
That's what I would do. That way, I mean, you got to control one that don't have it in it. You know if the beetles get in or don't, versus the one that does have the extract in it.
Well, the one colony, that triple deep that I was doing the Demarest split on today, I had peppermints in that, but I put oil traps in it the last time I was in it. So when I went and checked it today, there were no beetles in the oil traps. So there must not be any beetles in the colony because I didn't see any. So that's a good sign. Yeah, I think I will. I'll do the half and half, right? Do a split down the middle.
I'm bringing up a spreadsheet here for you. It's going to show 10 hives on there, but that was at the end of the year. Or not the end of the year, but that's when I made the first split. So, but I don't know how good you can see there. This is just yard
I got it on my
number
other
one.
screen too. I can put it up on my other screen over here. Let me see. Our video yesterday had like 176 views so far.
I actually rewatched it today at work.
All 5 hours of it?
Entire thing.
Oh my God. You must have been really bored today.
Well, I took a nap here and there. I'd wake up and watch it. But if you look on the left, that's just a hive number, and you'll see 8L and 8R. That's a double deep support hive I have. So I got the left side and the right side, the 2 separate colonies. But you can see right next to it, where it says medium supers, hive number 1. I ended up with 5 supers on that, and I actually pulled a little over 100. But that was my gallons, and then I keep a track of my moisture content. Why? I just want to do this first year to see how much I pulled. But if I go to the bottom, see if it'll let me click it because the button's in the way. You can see right here, yard number 1, yard number 2. I pulled 29 gallons off of my home yard. Had 15 supers total and 1 sea super. That's my comb honey supers. 380 pounds out of my home yard.
That's awesome.
But as I enter information into each tab, it automatically updates the graphs on the end with the information.
Man, you need to send me this Excel spreadsheet so I can use it.
I can do that. What I did, I ended up making a couple. That way I got 1 for each year. And even though I only had 3 yards last year, I'm starting with 4. I went ahead and programmed it for 8 yards. That way, in the end, I'm ahead of myself.
Right. So you can actually, you've got it so you can do a year over year.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have another file that I can open up, and it'll show me a graph, and it'll extract the information out of each one of these spreadsheets into a whole different document and show me year for year how much honey I'm pulling in and from which yard. That way, say one of my yards ain't doing real good, I'm not going to put no extra hives there and not get the honey. If one of my other yards is doing good, I'm going to move more hives to that yard.
Well, do you all right, so here's a question about the way you price your honey. How do you figure the pricing that you charge?
I just kind of looked at some of the local prices around here. Right now, we're doing $9 a pound.
Okay.
And all of my jars I have is 1 pound jars. I have a tall glass jar, and then I have a squeeze bottle, and they're both 1 pound.
Yeah. See, I have here. I'll hold on 1 second, and I'll be right back.
I hear that dry cut. I did it first, but I ended up making a little Microsoft Word document that I could go in and print out for each hive. If I bring a stack with me, and if one of my hives has a problem, I can write on there what yard I'm in, what hive number, what the problems are.
So, is this what you're using? Something like this, the 1
Uh,
pound squeeze?
Let me turn on my wireless mic. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can. He's got too many damn gadgets.
Well, I've seen you coming on live, so I said, well, I'm back and forth doing honey. Let me put my other mic on too.
The
All right, let me swap back.
I'm gonna start calling you Inspector Gadget. You are no longer Lee.
These are my 1 pound glass jars, and then I got the 1 pound squeeze.
Okay, so I had the 1 pound skep. Well, you can't see it because of my virtual background. 1 pound skep jar like this glass.
Yeah.
And then I had these plastic. I went to the plastic ones because these were $1.50 a jar on Amazon.
Yep.
These were 85 cents. And then my dumbass went and looked on Man Lake, and they have these with the lids. They got this little safety seal in it, so when you put them on,
that's how mine are.
Seals it. With the lids, you can get 290 of them for $150.
That ain't bad. I've got all mine through Better Bee. They had boxes of 225. Don't quote me offhand right now. I don't remember what it was running, but they run me about 80 cents a piece. Now, they don't have the 225 box no more. I think it's 321. For some reason, an odd number, but they got 321 in a box.
And they come with the lids?
Well, whenever you go to order it, it's going to show one price, but then you got to drop down and add what color lid you want to it. Once you add that lid, then the price is actually going to jump up, but it still averages out to about 80 cents per container.
Now, when I did the math on the ones, it was $290 for $147 or something like that on Man Lake. It came out to like 55 cents a jar.
Let me pull up my Quicken software here, and I could tell you.
Because the thing is, at $10 or $10 a pound, that was the first thing. The very first honey making mistake I ever did is I was using pint mason jars. Not this is a mason jar glass, but a pint mason jar. A pint mason jar is
24 ounces.
16 fluid ounces, right?
Yeah.
For
but it's
pint.
approximately 24 weight ounces.
Right. So I was charging $10 for a pint when I should have been charging more like 12 to 15.
Yeah. Because, I mean, with a pint mason jar, like I said, it's about 24 weight ounces. So you're looking a pound and a half, really.
So I did not make the fluid ounces to actual weight ounce conversion. The weight to fluid ounce.
A lot of people don't realize that, though. When you sell honey is sold by weight, not by fluid ounce.
So that is definitely something that that I need. I mean, that I'm figuring out, guys. These are things that maybe if you're first year or newer or just getting into it, that maybe you didn't realize. I mean, I'm not saying anybody. I might just be the dummy in the room, but.
And then if you look online at like national honey price, you might see anywhere from $250 to $350 a pound, but that is bulk, like wholesale price.
Yeah,
that's not retail.
55-gallon drums of it, right? Yeah. So that's definitely something that I could sell more honey. If I could buy honey in 5-gallon pails and I could sell it all year long.
Yeah.
But to me, it's obviously like I sold some buckwheat honey. That was not my honey. We don't have buckwheat down here. It all sold. It sold very quick.
Yeah.
But I told them this is not for my bees.
Yeah. A lot of beekeepers will do that. I mean, I've always been told you rather outsource your honey if you have to, rather than tell your customer, I'm out, I ain't got none, and then they find another supplier. Now, yeah, you want to tell them that, hey, this ain't directly my honey.
Well, I made a subtle change, too, on my label for the buckwheat honey. It said buckwheat honey on it, and it just said bottled by Walker Bee Ranch.
Okay.
And my label says harvested in Hopkins, South Carolina, which I mean right here.
Yeah.
So I definitely, because I think when people pull up to buy your honey and they see your bees, they see the apiary, and they're like, oh, well, I get my honey from him. This is from his hives. And, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, I had people comment like, man, that's night and day difference from last week's honey. Well, this was not my honey.
Yeah.
You
Now,
guys
the
my honey.
apiary that I have about 7 miles down the road from me, they'll sell a 5-gallon bucket right now for $200. Last year it was $180, but I mean price did go up this year.
Yeah.
But they have bees, by the way the crow flies, less than a half a mile from my house.
And with that, I mean, from a business aspect, if you've got the clientele for that, I mean, if you're 5 gallons is 60 pounds of honey.
Yeah.
So that's $600 at $10 a pound. You've made $400 on a $200 investment.
Yeah. I said, you're making $400 basically. I wouldn't say net because I mean you still got the price of your jars, your labels, and all that, but you still basically more than doubling your money.
Yeah, so I mean it's definitely an avenue to look at, but I think there's got to be that transparency too, right? To where you're not. I mean, there's a fine line. I mean, you could actually buy their honey and mix it with your honey, and they, that's what bottlers do, right? They buy honey from multiple places and blend it all together.
A lot of time when they blend in certain things, and not always, they might have one that's a little bit higher moisture content. It might be 18.5%, 19%. Well, they want one that's lower, so they'll find one that's 16%, blend them together, and you average around 17 and a quarter.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I mean, I was lucky. My first one was like 16 point. I think it was like 16.9 or 17, right in that area. And
I had some last year. A lot of them, like I said, were around 18 and a quarter because, I mean, we had so much rain. I mean, it took forever for them to cap it, but I did have some that was drier, and I did mix those.
Well, the USDA says anything under 18.6 is considered grade A honey. I mean, as far as the moisture, there's obviously a lot of other things that they incorporate into their measurements, but as far as I could find on any website was anything under like 18.6 is considered grade A.
Yeah.
So.
Now, I just pulled it up. We was talking about the squeeze jars from Better Bee. It's $151 for 225 jars. Now, it was $29 shipping in tax. It was $195 total. But that's the jar, the lid, the safety seal in it.
Well, I wonder, because of the way Man Lake does their free shipping, I don't even know if the plastic bottles are light, right? They're come in a bunch of bags, and I wonder if they're if because of the free shipping that's why
I've seen some of their prices might be higher on the actual product, but then, like you said, it's free shipping. So, I mean, to me, it kind of averaged out.
Right.
Now, I design my own labels in Photoshop, but I have Better Bee print them out. I have clear labels. So, since, they doing my labels, I already buy all my boxes from them. I've just bought my containers from them, too.
Now, you get the nutrition label from them, too? That just goes to the jar?
No, I did buy the nutrition labels from, I think it was Blue Sky, but they're not actually required here unless you have multiple things in there. Now, I still have them, and I'll bring them to the market with me or whatever, and somebody buys one, I ask them, hey, would you like one? Majority of the time, they say no. It's honey. I want it.
Most people that come here are like, yeah, don't even worry about putting a label on the bottle.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, like even if one of my kids come by and want a bottle to bring to a friend, I just have a habit. I put that label on there.
Right.
Number one, it's advertisement. Yeah. They bring it to a friend. Somebody else might go to the house and see it. Oh, where'd you get this?
Yeah, it represents
where you got it from. Yep.
Yeah, that was my thing. I actually went to the Avery website and printed my labels from my own computer. I just bought the labels and. And I just printed them off my computer, so I didn't do any high tech. Label. I'm not good in photo. Well, first of all, I don't have Photoshop. I do a lot of stuff in PowerPoint, though. Surprisingly enough, you can take backgrounds off of stuff and everything in PowerPoint too. So I use that for a lot of stuff. A lot of my like cartoony, what do you call it? The little thumbnails for YouTube videos. Like I had one with the bee with the backpack leaving an igloo about winter, the sugar brick video I did. And I did all that on PowerPoint.
All right.
So
I'm sorry. I'm trying to look for a phone number real quick.
No problem. I got you. But hey, anybody that wants to jump in, Dry Cut, how's your internet connection tonight? I'm going to put the link in here. Feel free to jump in. Cajun, come on down. I was just out covering my Irish potatoes, worried about a few degrees below 30. Yeah. Yep. It's going to be, it's getting cold tonight, unexpected. Well, I guess the weatherman expected it, but they're only right like 50% of the time. So I don't know how they can keep their job like that. But so what's next up for you? What you got going on in your YouTube videos coming up? I saw the one you posted last night.
Yeah, it had just finished editing about 5 minutes after I got on the live, but I didn't want to take time and try to upload and type all that, so I done it when we got off. I'm working on the other video with the horizontal hive, just getting everything set up, ready. Then once I put bees in, I'll kind of finish filming.
I actually sent him a message to on Facebook, finding out where he was located in North Carolina, because obviously I'm in South Carolina. It could be an hour, it could be 5 hours, it could be 7 hours, just depending on where you live. So he lives in the not terribly far away, but it's a few hours away from here.
Okay.
But I was thinking about it. When I saw that hive, man, I started getting like the big googly eyes. I was like, damn, I need that in my life.
I've seen one of his videos, and I said, man, I would love to have one of those.
And they look so shiny. What's he use? Like acrylic paint on it?
I think it's like an acrylic. Don't quote me. It is shiny. Now his wife, they do custom paint jobs too.
Oh yeah.
And his wife, they had another one in the back of their vehicle. It had flowers all over the front, and I mean, very nice.
That's awesome. I was thinking about that when you had the 12 queen castles. I was like, man, that'd be awesome. But I can't even keep 10 nuke splits live right now. I don't know if I want to even try that. That might be over the top for me. I called Bob Binney's place today trying to get queens. They won't have them to mid-April. And they're pickup only. They don't ship. So I would have to drive 4 hours to go get those.
I'll have to try to remember. I called the apiary here by me. You was asking, do they ship? I'll try to remember to call them tomorrow to find out.
There's a couple places here. Be Well Honey, I see they're advertising all the time. They've got some, but they're like still a few hours away. If I could get queen rearing down, I could be that guy here, because nobody around here has it.
Well, that's what I was looking at. I said, I wish I could do my own. And I got to thinking, I'm like, I'm never going to learn to do my own unless I try. So I just went ahead and bought the system. I think $106 for the frame, all the cages, the laying box, everything.
Well, that is going to be something I'm going to get real soon. So what I've been doing, all my expansion last year was through just walk away splits. Make a split, let them make a queen, boom, done.
That's what I did. Everything was walk away.
And, sometimes it took. If it didn't take, I put another frame with eggs in it and let them try again,
Yep. I had to do that on one of the double deep nukes. It's one hive, but it has an entrance on each corner. Mm-hmm. So one of them took right off. They made it a cell. The other one, I had to put 2 additional frames in. I put another frame of eggs in. It didn't take. Put another frame. It finally took and made a cell.
Oh, I wish I would have brought it in. But it was not me. It was my mentor showed me this. All the little queen cages that you can, like cell protector type thing you can put in the hive.
Yeah.
Well, they're usually too tall for what you're trying to do. So what we did is we took some number 8 hardware cloth and cut some little like 4x4 squares. And we took it's even more redneck than that. We took a piece of plywood and cut a hole out in it. And then we took a piece of wood and hammered the hardware cloth down in so it made a little basket.
Okay.
And then we just trimmed around it so you could just push that straight into the wax over the cell. So technically, once they, like, let's say this Demaray split generates a whole bunch of queen cells like I want it to, then what I could take those cages and just pop them over top of the cells. So when the virgins hatch out, I can release one into the colony if I want to, or I could take the whole frame out, catch them one at a time and cage them.
Okay.
And put them where I need to put them. Or what I did before is let one out in the colony, take the rest of the cage out, put that in another nuke, let one out when it came out, put it in another nuke. And I did that like because they would hatch like a day apart or something.
Yeah.
So once one hatched, I would just remove that frame and put it in another nuke, wait for one to hatch, release it, move it to another nuke, release it. And I was able to do that a few times. And, sometimes I would let one or two go just to try to ensure success a little bit more. But
yeah. No, I mean, if you're real careful and got a steady hand, once the cell is capped, a day or two after it's capped, you could take like a little razor knife and cut behind the cell and remove just the cell and move it to another hive.
Well, now, do you use plastic foundation or do foundationless or?
Most of my stuff is plastic. I do have some that's wired wax, and I've maybe 2 or 3 frames out of all my hives are actual natural wax.
So either I've got plastic foundation or I've got fishing line through it. So the fishing line, obviously you can just cut out around that. Yeah. But the plastic, I've never, have you taken it off the plastic and been all right with it?
No, I hadn't actually cut the cells off like that, but I've seen some videos to where they'll take it and cut the cell out. Now, I don't know how much it would work on actual plastic because, then you'd have an open back.
The other thing that happens when you put those cage, like if it's a foundationless and you put those cages on it like I'm talking about, if one queen hatches out, then the bees will actually burrow through the back of the comb. They'll like come all the way through the back to kill that queen.
Dang. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they'll tear it down. They'll get in there. I'm like, there's no way. How can that? There's no way that any bees can get in there with that virgin queen because I got this metal mesh cage around it.
Yeah.
And they would go underneath it, around it. Yeah, however they could get in.
That's why I wanted the NICOT system. That way, when they do hatch, you have the little roller cage in there.
Right. So all you're doing at that point is just waiting on her to lay that out. Then you're letting her out of the box, right?
Yeah. I'll put the little box in her hive 3-4 days, depending on how long it takes her to fill it up. Once you take her out, you just release her back into her own box.
And then you take the box off and take the cells out and put them in the frame and put them in your starter colony.
Yeah, put them in the starter in the queenless hive.
The cell builder, okay.
Now, you want to make sure it's a strong colony. Bringing in plenty of pollen, plenty of bees. That way they can feed all these cells. Right. Because you're not trying to get on to build just one cell. You're trying to get them build 10, 15, 20 cells at one time. So it takes a lot of work.
I can't believe nobody wants to jump in here with us tonight. Did you see Hillbilly Beekeeping put out a new video for Mike Berry?
Mike.
And then I saw his video for yours.
All right.
And so, he's getting subscribers just from his little ditty videos he's putting out, little sound clips.
I gained a couple of subscribers between last night and today.
Well, last night everybody that was in the chat was saying, "Oh, just subscribe." So that's good, man. That's good stuff.
I'm looking in here. I thought I seen Dry Cut saying something about his internet signal.
Oh, he said he didn't know if it was ever any good.
It's worth a try.
Hey, if you want to jump in, man, you're always welcome. We're not biased, dude. Opinions, everybody's got them. Everybody says it, and I'll tell you right now, not everything we say anybody's going to agree with. You know, it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
My thing is, if somebody says something I don't agree with, I just don't say anything about it. I'm not going to argue with you about it. I just choose not to do that. You know what I mean?
That's the way I look at it. Everybody's got their own opinion. Nobody's going to agree 100% of the time.
Right. I mean, I might do something here because we're in similar climates. You might say, you know, that's a good idea. Or maybe you're like, I think you jacked that up. And that's fine. If I jack it up, Lee, you better tell me. You better say, Bob.
That's what I say. If I do something wrong, hey, please tell me. I mean, do it respectfully.
Right.
But hey, tell me what I did wrong. That way, maybe I don't do it again. Hopefully I don't.
In my videos, I'll ask, hey, what would you guys do in this? Put it in the comment, because the reason I'm asking that is not because I just want to know what you think. It's because I want to know what the hell I need to do. I mean, that's what it is.
That's what I said. The guy that got me started in bees, he's been doing it, I think he said 4 or 5 years. He's got like 4 or 5 colonies. That's all he's been wanting. He's wanting to just stay a little hobby in his yard. Well, I told him I was going to try queen rearing this year. Sent him a picture of the little queen cage, the frame. He said, let me know how it works out. Or you're going to have to show me how to do that. I said, well, who's going to show me how to do it?
Right. YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I say. I mean, I'm not going to learn unless I try.
Oh, I finally watched my first Texas beekeeping video. That girl that removes the swarms.
Yeah.
Biggest waste of time I ever watched. Today's video. And I'm going to tell you, if you didn't see today's video, spoiler alert. Okay. Somebody called her. It was in the backyard underneath like a little, one of them patio fire pits. I mean, the whole cluster was about like that big. It had like 4 little pieces of comb in there. I'm like, really? This is the video that of all the stuff you could film with bees, this is the 10 minutes you wanted to put out there. But yeah.
I guess they can't always be big every time.
Ian, come in our chat. Tell us about what's going on with your big stuff. I watched your video earlier.
I've seen it pop up on my phone. I hadn't got to watch it yet.
I'll send you a Tim Hortons gift card or something. Hey, I need to ask you. Well, see, I don't know if he's got those problems in Canada. I need to ask you about something I did because it has to deal with cold weather and bees. And I'm in South Carolina, and typically those two things they don't go good together.
I about to say, if it has to deal with cold weather, he should be the one.
I know. Well, I don't know if he's done that type of split because of his operation, the way he does it. So I'm just curious to pick his mind on it and let him tell me how jacked up I am. And that'll be an honor to get smacked around by Ian Stepler on my own live broadcast. Ding, ding. So the link is in the chat, Ian.
Come on in.
But I'm just super, I'm going to say worried, dude. I'm worried about that colony now. So if Mike Berry would have responded back to me, this whole thing, I'm a blank. See, this is why Mike Berry says it's not a how-to video. This is a how I do video. So I tried to reach out to Mike Berry to ask him a question about what I should do, because I saw on his video that one of the colonies he was working on was very similar to the one I had to deal with today. So I was trying to get his input, just a little assurance that I was going to do something right or wrong for that matter,
Yeah.
And
I'd like to try to hook up with Mike one day and just kind of check his stuff out. Maybe he'll check mine out. Like I said, he lives probably 35, 40 minutes from me.
And And that with that colony, it was a I didn't get any response back. I sent a feeler out to Cayman, then I found out that he's at this event thing, so he didn't answer back either. But at any rate, I said, well, I'm not waiting. I'm going to do it. And, now I'll know if I waited and I screwed up or didn't. But,
yeah, I was wanting to make a split the other day out of one of my hives and put in the new horizontal. And I knew that weather was coming up this week. I got a habit. I try to check a week in advance just in case. But I've messed up and done it before too.
But Ian, my colony could be dead by next time. I did the manipulation today. All right, but I'll tell you, I'll just go ahead and explain it. Everybody else has already heard it. So I have a triple deep 10 frame colony, and the bottom brood box, I've rotated. I reversed the boxes and put the queen back on the bottom. And this was a few weeks ago. And the queen keeps going to the top box and laying. So the second and third box, she was laying in there. The brood box on the bottom was when the brood she was laying down there was hatching out, they were backfilling it with pollen, backfilling it with nectar. And I was starting to get worried because it's a pretty strong colony and I didn't want it to do an early swarm on me. And I watched a Mike Berry video. I was watching how Mike Berry was doing his hive. And I said, you know what? I know this isn't a how-to video. This is a how he does video, but maybe I want to do it like he does it. So he was doing some splits, but I knew I had some cool weather that was supposed to be coming. I didn't want to do that yet. And so I did a Demarest split. I put empty foundation in the bottom with a honey frame, pollen frame, 2 brood frames, the queen, and a couple drawn out worker comb. And then I put a queen excluder on it. And then I moved the bottom box is now the second box and so on, just built it back up. And now the temperatures are supposed to, by tomorrow, be at 22 degrees here. And I'm wondering, now that I have brood spread out through the whole, now 4 deeps, will the bees work their way back down to the queen, with the exception of the bees that are on the 6 or 7 frames of brood that are stretched out through these colonies? It's probably more than that. I'm talking about cap brood and eggs and larvae and everything else that's in this colony. Did I just screw up, or will they be okay? That's the assurance I need from you, Mr. Ian Stepler, because I don't have a building to move my colony into unless I put it in my kitchen. So
you can put it right next to the stove, keep them warm.
I could put it right next to the 6 cases of plastic acorn foundations I've got in there, my honey extractor. Well, that's pretty cold for here in South Carolina, not for you.
Yeah, we can't inspect the top of our house while we just walk out the door.
Right. It's so it's just one, and it started raining in the middle of doing this manipulation, so it's like I don't feel good about it, but at the same time, it's like now it's done, and I've got to wait it out. So
they was saying, can you wrap them? You got any black tarp paper or anything you can put on it just to attract some more heat, maybe?
No, I don't. I just, and then now here's the other thing that we were talking about. With all the drones are now above the excluders, so the drones can't go out the bottom. They only have the little upper entrance or the upper escape in the inner cover, right? So if they can figure out to get their fat asses out the top door, that would be nice, Otherwise, we have drones cover. Well, maybe the drones will just act as insulation for the stack of dead drones, insulating the queen on the bottom.
As long as they providing some heat in there, I mean, they'll help.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, right? So all the heat is going to rise, and the queen's in the bottom with her 2 frames of brood. They're pretty full. The frames that have bees, have brood on them are pretty slam full. So, well, I mean, Dirt Rooster said it looked like a strong colony. So I'll take his word on it. And I just hope we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll know in it because see, here's the thing, Ian. It was 85 degrees 3 days ago here, and now it's at 22. And then it's supposed to be 85 by Thursday this week again. So it's just a crazy dip in the pattern right now. And all right, so if you're golden, if I'm golden, I'm golden. We'll see. And I didn't even finish the full split because by what I've seen, I don't know anybody else around here that does it this way, but from what I've seen, they actually put 2 empty supers in between the brood boxes. So I'm glad I'm glad I didn't do that because the bees will be closer together, right? So
Now just remember, Ian confirmed that for you now. If something happens, you gotta send him an email.
Yep. If something happens, Ian's got to buy me Tim Hortons, and we don't have any Tim Hortons here, so that means he's got a plane flight nearest Tim Hortons. It might be Michigan or somewhere like that. No, I'm just kidding. But hey, if you next time you're down, I'll bring up some. I know how you like your eggnog, but I'll bring some of my my famous apple pie to you. And I'm not talking about the kind that you bake.
Old Smoky?
Yeah, no. This is 190 proof. Old Smoky's only like you could sell it in the grocery stores here, so it's like pretty low. But the 190 proof that I make has 190 proof grain alcohol in it.
We went to Tennessee. I think it was 2019, and we went by Old Smoky's, done a little taste testing around the round table kind of.
Well, you know where Hive Life Conference is. That's where Old Smoky is, up in Gatlinburg.
Yeah,
right there.
It ain't far down the road. In fact, we plan on going this next year.
I'm planning to go this year too. They've got I don't know if you like pickles, but they have moonshine pickles.
Yeah, I've seen that one. I ain't never tried it. I really don't drink no more. I got a bottle of wine that I bought 11, 12 years ago. And when I bought it, the bottle's 1972. But I still bought it, and it's still sitting in the little box that it come in. I hadn't opened it.
Thanks, Ian. Appreciate your time, buddy. Thanks for stopping in.
Have a good one.
I'm just happy he subscribes to my channel. That's awesome in itself. You don't even have to ever watch any of my videos, man. I appreciate it.
The ones that kind of get me, they'll subscribe, or you'll see the subscription go up, but it don't show their name because not everybody opens or has opened that subscription, public subscription.
Well, the other thing is, if you're a content provider and you don't have that opened up, people can't, like if you're in our chat and I go to click on somebody's name, it won't let you go to their page.
I know that.
So yeah, it's kind of crazy, but it is what it is. People do.
I just left mine open that way anybody can see what I subscribe to. I don't care.
Well, man, I was so bored tonight, dude. I was just sitting around. I was like watching YouTube videos about putting siding on the house, and I was like, wow, I got to do something. I got to hang out with the guys tonight. And there's no females didn't show up tonight, but not yet.
I about to say, I don't know if I've seen any yet.
We're not 4 or 5 hours in yet either.
Yeah, true.
So, and Brian stopped in, and I hope
Brian way up there. I ain't seen him say anything in a while.
Can you tell if mine's open? I'm not tech savvy. Hold on, let me see. I gotta go to the. I think you can. Let me see. All right, so when you go to the little 3 dots next to the name in the chat, there's a thing that says "Go to Channel." Yours is open, so you hit go to channel, and it'll take you to their channel where you can subscribe.
Yeah, yours is open. I'm looking at my subscriber list, and it's showing you in there.
So once you do that, you just hit subscribe, notifications. So yeah, everybody go send Dry Cut, subscribe to his channel, Dry Cut Homestead, and hit that notification bell.
Can you tell me I missed?
You know, it's funny because I went back after talking last night. I went back and started looking at some of my first videos when I was like catching some swarms and stuff like that. And it was so, I was looking at how I had my stuff set up at first and going, it's so noob, right? I'm going through my my nukes, and I'm like, oh, this is the swarm I caught over here. And I mean, and it's like 3 frames of bees in there, right? And it's like a bunch of foundation where they're just starting to draw out comb. And I was just like so excited. Isn't this so awesome? Look, there's this little patch of comb, and there's like, she's already laid eggs in there, you know? And now it's like, you go out there and it's like, oh, I've got this triple deep colony, and you know, it's like flexing, and I did nothing, right? All I did is put the bees in the box and make some changes.
I think I've only recorded one of my little swarm catches. My girlfriend, she works at a little cafe about 3 miles down the road from here, and I caught 3 swarms in 3 weeks in the same box.
Well,
I'd catch one, bring it home, transfer it into a 10 frame, bring the box right back. 3 weeks in a row, I caught them like that.
That's awesome. I had one that I did where I went out, and the guy called because he had honeybees in a. Well, I got called for a swarm, and I went out for a swarm, and by the time I got there, the guy's like, "Well, they're right there, and they're in that tree, and they were up on that branch, but they went away." And I was like, "All right, well, if I got to get them out of the tree, then I'm going to have to get some supplies, right?" So I went down the road to the Ace Hardware and got some hardware cloth to make the little cone and try to do a trap out, right? And it turns out, by the time I got back, there was 2 more swarm clusters up on the tree. Nice. So we ended up catching 2 swarms, and instead of doing the trap out, I was up like 20 feet on the ladder with a long pole with the 5-gallon bucket on it.
Yep, I've seen Mr. Ed do that. I've been thinking about, I got paint bowls around here because my dad, before he passed away, that's what he did, sheetrock and painting. So I still have all of his old tools. And I figured I'd take one of the paint poles, I mean, extendable 15, 20 foot.
Yeah, I mean, I was way up there. And
put a hook on the end, put a 5-gallon bucket.
And I hit that thing, and the cluster, half of it got in the bucket, half of it went all over me on the ground. It had multiple queens in there, so we ended up getting two nuke boxes with 3 queens. So I caged one of them and put her in there, and in with the swarms, so she was separated from the other queens.
Did you see the one with Mr. Ed done that? He put that pole up in there, and they come down on him. They come down on him, and they started eating him up. He was running.
But he already had the oh, did you talk about the one from today where he was using the crowbar? And
no, it was a couple of years ago. He had one. He was doing a tree catch, and he had a bucket on the end of a pole. And as soon as he hit that swarm, and they come down in the bucket, the rest come on his head.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened to me.
And they were eating him up. He was running across the field.
All right, we got our first visitor tonight. William, welcome back, brother.
Hey.
How's it going?
Great, man. I watched your video today. First one, you're like, well, you get no prizes, you know. I just happened to be on YouTube when I saw it pop up, and I was like, oh, let me go check it out.
Yeah, you were right after it posted.
Well, you know, when you get to some of these, I'll get notifications right, you know, pretty quick, you know, and some of these guys, by the time you get there, their channels are so big, you're still like 25th, 26th person to to like hit the thumbs up. So, they got like 100 and something views already. I'm like, that's crazy.
Well, like Dirt Rooster today, his popped up on my phone, and I was in the middle of a lift but I kind of glanced at it. I mean, it just beeped, and I looked, and he already has so many views, so many likes. I'm like, ain't been 10 seconds.
Well, he did something. His video format has changed. I don't know if you noticed it in the video today, but it was more like a ride along vlog where he was in a hotel room and showed him going to get the supplies and everything. I liked it. It was neat. It was a little bit different. Usually it's just them joking and cutting it out and doing their thing. But yeah, he went through the whole repair process and everything and fixing it. So it was pretty neat.
I ain't got to watch it yet. Like I said, I watched the one we did from last night and just kind of glanced around, and I was pretty busy today.
And William got snowed on all day. Didn't it snow for you today?
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
So what you got?
Yeah, that was today. We got a couple inches.
What you got coming up on your YouTube channel? What can we look forward to? What's your next big thing you're thinking about doing? Or are you like me? It's just kind of like, I'm gonna do this today.
I guess it
and
depends
do a video.
on kind of more or less. So I work full time, so it's kind of gonna depend on what the weekends look like, I suppose, as far as what I film and what I don't.
Right.
I've got some nuke boxes that I built that I've got to paint, so I may make a little video just kind of showing those nuke boxes that I built, because I see a lot of people that will build nuke boxes out of scrap material and everything, which is what I do, but you'll see like all particle board or all plywood or all, shelving lumber. And what I think some people could benefit from is taking the good lumber and putting it on the ends, where you're going to mortise for your frames, or if you do it differently, that's fine too. And then put the less quality lumber on the side.
Right.
That's what I did. And so I could get more boxes that I think will last just a little bit longer. You know what I mean? They're not great. You know what I mean?
I need to build some swarm boxes.
Thought about that if they. Yeah, I built all my swarm trap boxes. Of course, I haven't been very successful at swarm trapping, but that's just because I haven't put a bunch out. But I just build those out of whatever. I've got 4 or 5 of those. I put some out this year. I think I've got 3 or 4 out right now, but I've got a couple more that I need to put out. I just haven't done it yet. It's kind of time. So
I'm doing the time is honey method this year. I've got 5-gallon pails. Have you seen that method? Somebody in Oklahoma is the one that I guess started doing it, and I'm just using 5-gallon pails.
Yeah, I see. Of course, I'm in Oklahoma, so a lot of the Facebook groups that I'm a part of they're all big on the bucket deal. Like you said, I think one of the main moderators on one of those groups at least acts like he invented it. I don't know if he did or not.
Well, I see people using flower, like the paper flower
popular.
pots and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think the main thing is that
the
bees can stay dry and they've got enough room. And if you see them building in water meter boxes and, I went out to my damn mailbox earlier and how they had the paper box underneath the mailbox.
Mm-hmm.
There's a full-on bird's nest in there. One of my chickens could live in there just about. And it's just it's surprising how resourceful, animals can get.
The only thing I've used for swarm boxes so far, Better Bee has the 5-frame wood nukes with a little circle door on the front where you can turn it to queen excluder, drone excluder, or full open. Mm-hmm. I've been using those for swarm traps. You're going to catch a little bit smaller swarm, it being just a 5-frame deep versus something that, what they say, 10 gallons or something like that is what a swarm trap should hold. But I've caught 3 or 4 frame swarms. It's good enough.
I caught a swarm on the side of one of my own hives. Does that count?
Hey, did you catch it?
I caught it. I did.
According to Mr. Ed, it counts. You caught a swarm.
It swarmed, and it was like clustered on the side of one of my other boxes that was queen right. And I'm like, what the hell are y'all doing? So I just came over, brushed them into a nuke box, lit them up, moved them. Good to go. So it's it's just with beekeeping. Oh, there he goes.
He dropped
No. We need. Hey, we're starting a GoFundMe account for fiber optics in Oklahoma.
as what I have here, fiber to the home.
I don't have fiber here. I get like 400 megabits a second. That's it.
Well, we got the gigabit here, but I didn't use that much. Even running my servers I've run before, I never maxed out. But like our upload speed, I'm running 50 meg upload. That's more than enough.
Yeah, I
for
think
what we
like
do.
25 or something like that usually. But everything in my house is smart.
I had good
TV.
internet when I lived in town, but
yeah, it's one of the struggles in the country. That's why when I go live on my phone, it's like all pixelated and grainy because I got bad cell service. And
Like Greg was saying the other night, it could take him a couple of hours to upload a 15, 20-minute video. I timed mine the other day. It was like 15 minutes and some change on the video. It took me 38 seconds to upload it. It took longer for YouTube to process it, do their checks and all that than it did to upload.
Was it 1080p or 4K?
Yeah, 1080p.
Yeah,
Even
1080.
though I got 4K cameras, I only run them at 1080. Because, for YouTube, I'm not worried about the 4K. And I don't want to have to buy that much storage space right now.
Right. Yeah, that's my thing is, my GoPros can do, 4K 30 or something like that. But
yeah, the new GoPro 10 I got, you can do 5.3K on them.
But nothing can watch it.
No. Like I said, I still run 1080 on everything I have.
And then if you've got multiple clips that you're putting together, like if you did one on your phone that's not 4K, then it's either going to try to boost that up to 4K in the editing software, or it's going to boost or nerf everything else down to that level. So. And
then the laptop that I got, you seen my setup last night. I got two 32-inch monitors and then my laptop monitor. Nope, we lost him again. He'll be back. But I got the two 32-inch monitors and then the laptop monitor. This laptop, I got to looking at it the other day, 9 years old this year. It's still running. Now, yeah, I did upgrade to SSD hard drive, doubled the RAM in it, everything else. But I am wanting to build me another desktop.
I built two this year.
One I was looking at dual RTX 3080s.
Yeah, well, you're going big time then.
Like 64 gigs of RAM, i9. I'm looking close to 6,000.
Yeah, I've got
the full setup.
I've got what the hell is it? I went AMD, so I've got the. My mind's going backwards.
The Ryzen.
Yeah, I've got a Ryzen, and I've got a 3060 Ti graphics card. It's not bad, but it was like the graphics card prices have gone up so much, that's what jacks the price up. Everything else is still.
Well, whenever all the crypto stuff was going, they started jacking them up too.
Oh, I'm mining crypto right now as I'm streaming.
Well, I was thinking about it before, but like I said, I'd rather just from a video editing, but I was going to go with the dual RTX 3080s.
Yeah, and some software will let you use your graphics card for the encoding.
Yeah.
Which speeds up the editing a lot.
Well, like with Adobe Premiere Pro, certain things will use the graphics card, other things only use the CPU.
But yeah, so that with beekeeping, that's the biggest thing that I've got happening right now is that split. I wanted to film it, but then it was like I was trying to beat the rain, and by the time you do all that and then you're talking while you're trying to do it, which slows you down while you're trying to do it. And I just wanted to get it done. And
that's what gets me. Sometimes I get in the bee yard, and even if I got my camera with me, sometimes I forget it's there, and I just set it down, never hit record, and I'm going through a box, and when I finish, I'm like, oh, I forgot.
And I'll tell you the worst part about doing the two GoPro things, the GoPro Max doesn't film as long intervals. It creates separate files. When it gets to the end of its duration, it'll start a new file, like the next one in the sequence, and it'll film, but they're like shorter segments than the Hero 5 is, or the Hero 5 I've got. So it's like it becomes a whole editing thing at that point.
I don't even remember how long the segments are on the Hero 10.
And then it shuts off and doesn't make any noise. So like you're thinking you're filming something and that camera's off. And
you can't go into the settings and tell it turn to beep mode on or anything.
I might be able to. I haven't messed with it. It just started kind of doing that. But
let's see video.
William, we appreciate you, man. Thanks for trying to hang in with us. Hey, and anybody else? I don't know who else on here. I see we got 7. Anybody else? Say hi so we know who's here. You're more than welcome to come join the chat. There's the link. I just posted it again in the chat description. We're not shy. We'll answer any questions if we can. If you got them, we'll talk whatever you want to talk about, as long as it's legal.
Well, it looked like one of the clips on my GoPro 10 there was only like 11 minutes long, and then it went to another clip. So I'm going to check another video.
The thing that I like about this Max, which is still on my tripod here, I don't know if you can see it, but it does 360.
Yeah.
It's got the dual. So when I put this in the yard, if it's on 360, it's filming all the way around. And you can actually do those videos where you can scroll around and look at everything.
Kind of swipe on your screen.
Yeah.
Now, will DaVinci Resolve do the 360 itself, or do you have to do it in the GoPro software first?
You know, I haven't tried to do it in DaVinci Resolve, and I don't know also if YouTube will, if you can upload 360 video to YouTube.
Yeah, I got a selling video that I watch, SV Delos, and every now and then they'll upload a 360 video.
Can you look at it through VR?
Yep. I got the little VR headset you can put on when you turn your head. You're looking all around the boat.
Now, how awesome would that be to be doing VR beekeeping?
That'd be pretty cool.
You got 360.
Kind of feel like you're right there.
And you got it on, and you're looking, but you're seeing my hands come up and do the beekeeping.
I'm looking at some of these videos on my GoPro 10, and it's only showing. Hold on, wrong year. 2022 folder. And I mean, I'm trying to remember which camera I used here because I got 2 different GoPros. But some of them like 7-minute videos, some of them's 11-minute videos.
And it just does it when it wants to, right? I don't know if it's the file size or.
That's what it's looking like. It just wants to change when it wants. See, this one, 11 minutes on that clip, and then it went to another one for 8 minutes. So it's looking like a couple of them were around the 11-minute mark.
And I've had them go for as long as I've been standing there talking. So if it's in 4K, I know it's shorter blocks. So I think that it probably has to do with the file size. That's what I'm imagining.
Now, like with the GoPro 10, they got the new, HVAC file system or whatever versus the older GoPros. Because my computer just updated here a while back. And when I download some video from my GoPro 4, I could watch it on the computer. When I download it from the GoPro 10, it would not open on my computer. I actually had to go to the Microsoft store, buy like a $1.99 patch, because the new update removed that codec system.
Yeah, I hate when Microsoft does an update, pushes out an update on you, and then it's like screws everything up.
Yeah. Now, like with the GoPro 10, which I think you can do it on the 9 too, they have what they call the Max Mod lens. It's a bigger lens, and it will open up even wider. But
the Max Mod lens is to make it look like the Max field of reference, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Now, the thing I like about it, without the Max Mod lens, if you turn the camera up to 45-degree angle, it keeps the horizon straight. Okay. With the Max Mod lens, I can turn the camera all the way 360, and it will still keep the horizon straight like the camera never moved.
Nice. That's pretty cool. Yeah, see, you do more in-depth research. I just buy shit.
Well,
Oh, that's
that's
cool.
kind of what made me back because whenever I'm standing out there and holding the camera up, I'm like, and I turn my head, am I holding the camera straight? So this
Right.
keeps me level automatically.
That's it's yeah. I mean, that's back to the whole going into buying stuff for beekeeping. The stuff that I bought for beekeeping that has nothing to do with beekeeping, like the scope. I bought the scope to look down in
Oh, the scope camera?
yeah, I got the
Yeah.
scope camera to look in. I did one removal at a church, and I wanted to look down the cinder block column so I could put it down there and look and see what was going on.
Yeah. I got one over in my other storage. I think it's got like a 14 or a 16-foot wire camera on it.
I mean, it's nice. It's cool. I was going to use it today, but now I can't find the damn thing. So,
Yeah.
it's kind of like my Nikon. I went to go use my Nikon, and I was like, oh, well, it'd be nice if I could charge the battery, but I can't find the battery charger now. So now I got to order a battery charger.
Well, the good thing, my Nikon D810 and my Nikon D7200, they both take the same battery, same charger. So if I do lose one, at least I got a backup.
Does yours use these little square dealy doos like this?
Let's see.
I think this one isn't even the Nikon battery. This my official Nikon battery is probably in the charger wherever that's at.
I don't think it's squared. It's a little more rounded off.
Yeah, that one's different than this. This is just a little square deal. But I mean, this does video too, I guess. It's supposed to.
Most of them will. Like this one here, I can shoot 1080 60 on it, but most of the time I shoot 1080 30 on everything.
Let me see. I have to. It's got touchscreen and everything. Where's the little guide mode, auto? Yeah, I'm sure it does. At the YouTube, but this is that Sigma, the Sigma lens I was telling you about. Well, you can't see it. I mean, it's.
Yeah, I can see it some.
Well, there it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, it zooms out pretty good. This was a pretty inexpensive lens. It's not like the ones you got that cost $1 million.
Now this one here, that's the Nikon 70-200 2.8, and that thing it's a couple of pounds.
Well, this one is pretty light. The Sigma was cheaper than the Nikon lens.
Mm-hmm.
Try to put my glasses on, guys. Sorry, I can't see anymore. I'm getting old. But this thing, I didn't buy all the bells and whistles, but this is a 70-300 with macro 200-300. But I
want to get the macro lens.
I usually just take photos with this when I use it, but it's kind of obsolete because if I'm out there, I'm not usually carrying this everywhere I go.
Yeah.
So
I'll bring it to the bee yard every now and then. Like you said, let's see, I'll bring it on screen. Just stop my camera for a second, and you'll see my little background picture. I took that with my camera. That's one picture I got hanging on or setting up on the side of my wall.
Well, that's pretty high speed shutter setting, right?
Yeah, I think I was running about 8,000 there.
Cajun, come on in. We need us another Louisianan. Is that what y'all are called down there, Louisianans?
That or coon asses. Every now and then, I mean, we get the jackass, but hey, it's all good.
I get that all the time. Just ask my wife. But yeah, but I didn't buy all this stuff at one time. This is stuff that I pace myself out when I buy stuff. I don't like. I've got a nice. You can't see it, but I've got a nice desktop mic. I actually have better mics in my attic than I've got on my desk right now. I've got Shure mics and mixer and all that stuff too.
I got a condenser mic over here, but with everything else going on in the house, it picks up any little detail.
Oh yeah, I've got one of those too with the little shock mount and everything.
Yep.
I've spent way too much money on stuff, Yep. I've got I just saw it over there. I think it's a Shure PG58, performance grade 58 mic.
I was looking at the Shure, I think it's MV7 maybe. Something like that. But I mean, it was a USB or XLR connection.
Yeah, I had the USB, Alesis USB mixer, and I've got the, that's what I bought that Shure mic for. And
like this mic here, I run it on XLR, but you can use USB also. I unplug the XLR, plug in USB, and then it has a port for the earphone jack to plug in direct to the mic.
Yeah, that's where my headset is running right to this desktop mic right now that I've got.
Okay.
I've got a Samson desktop mic that I'm using, and I don't have.
This is the Samson.
My voice is so overpowering most of the time that.
This is I think the UVQ or something like that. Samson.
Like, I can stay talking the same and just turn the mic up. It's probably clipping and everything else right now. It probably got louder.
It got louder, but it wasn't clipping. A lot of times the StreamYard will auto adjust your mic for you.
Well, I also used to have with my mixer, I found that when I had a dedicated sound card in my computer, that it worked a lot better because I was doing a lot of vocal recording.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't use that, the latency between what you were saying through the mixer and it coming through the system and getting computed and getting back to your headset would create a delay.
Yeah, just enough to mess with your head.
Yeah, if you're trying to stay on a song and sing the song, then the delay in the track threw the recording off. So without the dedicated sound card processing everything, it was always wonky.
Well, like the soundboard I have here, I have my mic plugged into it, but then I got my headphones plugged directly into that.
Okay.
And then even my wireless, when I got up a minute ago, I got a wireless plugged in XLR, and then I got the transmitter on my side.
So you just got all the tools, man. I don't even know if I could put a audio mod on that GoPro.
That I'm not sure. If I'm not mistaken, I think you can put it on the GoPro 8, 9, or 10. Or I think they have a different mod for the 8. But right. the mod I have will fit the 9 or 10.
I'll have to do some investigation on it. But you know what? For the most part, when I'm doing that 2 GoPro setup, because I'm using the audio on the one that's on my chest, my audio is usually pretty good.
That's the GoPro mod. The media mod. It's got the front and back microphone, USB plugs, all built in. Now, the other thing I found on the 9 and 10, they use the same battery. Nope. Wrong case. This one. Now, they got the original, what they call the standard.
Yeah, that's GoPro the one battery. I got in my 5.
They're blue. Now, GoPro has a new white battery. Instead of the blue trim, it has white, and they call it an Enduro battery. That way, if you're in temperatures 20, 30 degrees, batteries don't like the cold. These will still work in the cold, but in warm weather, they're supposed to perform an additional 40% longer.
So my Max came with the blue.
No.
Let me flip that around. My 5 does not have the blue. It's different. Where is it?
Yeah, my old 4 is a different type of battery too. I think it was just solid black.
Yeah, that's what mine is. And I think didn't Mike Berry said that he uses a 3?
3 plus.
Don't forget the plus. Don't forget the plus.
Hey, he does a good job with that 3 plus though. It does look good.
Yeah, it does look really good. So, I'm tragic. If you guys saw my desk, dude.
The desktop mic, you said, Samson, is that the Q2U or?
I got the 8-Track Pro.
Okay.
That's what it is. Or I know it's something Track Pro. G-Track Pro. That's what it is.
Okay. I mean, I can turn my gain up on this one here through my mixer board, but I try not to get it too high.
Yeah, try not to blast people's ears out.
Yeah.
So we went from beekeeping to tech talk. Where else can you get that?
Hey, and still got 7 watchers.
And 7 watchers, and we still got 4 hours left of this broadcast.
Oh, I can't go that late.
You got to work tomorrow too?
Yep. I don't get another day off until next Saturday.
Oh, Lord.
And the only reason I'm getting that day off, I got pictures I got to do for somebody.
I got you.
And then I have another wedding on the 26th to shoot.
All right, William. Nice talking to you, buddy. But yeah, I'm surprised. Well, it is Friday night, at like 10:20 here. So I'm surprised that more people weren't lifeless like we were, man. It didn't have nothing to do tonight.
All I was doing, I was sitting here bottling honey. And I heard the phone beep, and I turned around and looked on the computer and seen you live, so I clicked it.
Well, I was, I was talking to Craig Branch in chat a little while ago, and he was baking brownies with his kids. He said he worked them hard in the bee yard today, and he said he was going to check in. He might be watching, but I haven't seen any comments. So
still waiting on Cajun to jump in here.
Yeah, we need Cajun to jump on. Let me see. I've got notifications. Nope. Nothing important. Nothing important. Let's see. Let me see. Hey, do you ever watch Butts Bees? B-U-T-T-S?
I'm sub to them, yeah. If I ain't mistaken, they had one come out today, didn't they?
Yeah, she had a short come out.
I hadn't got to watch it yet.
I'm surprised she doesn't have that many subscribers. I think she does pretty good stuff myself. So if you're on here, go subscribe to Butts Bees LLC. Show her some beekeeping love. She's kind of a hippie chick just from what I gather. I don't know her personally, obviously, but some of those ways she does stuff, and nothing wrong with that. Hey, people, keep your bees the way you want to keep them. That's how I feel. I'm just trying to grow mine at this point,
That's me. I mean, like we were saying last night, I mean, the subscribers ain't that important, but hey, it does make you feel a little good too.
Yeah, it does make you feel good when somebody actually watches something you put out, right? I mean, for me, it just is like gives me a reason. Well, 6 people watched it or something. You know what I'm saying? It's like, at least you feel like you're doing it for something. I mean, I've been there where you put out a video and nobody really watches. I put out a video when I was going back through, and it was a Swarm Commander versus Lemongrass challenge thing I was trying to do. And I baited up 2 swarm traps and, see which one would catch a swarm first. The problem is I didn't catch a swarm in either one of them. So I haven't done a follow-up, but that video has had like 9,500 views.
Dang.
And I get a comment, well, where's part 2? We can't find part 2. Well, there isn't one because I didn't catch one in either one of them. So I can't talk to either end on that. I can't give a definitive. But I've seen Swarm Commander work. I've seen Lemongrass work.
Yeah.
So
I've tried both, and I mean they both work for me.
Yeah, I mean, hell, to me, when you spray Swarm Commander, it smells like Lemon Pledge.
Yeah,
a little bit, So
trying to see on here.
Watching the news, there's nothing good on the news. Everything on the news is bad. You could be a part of something here, Cajun. The beekeeping revolution.
You talking about views on videos? I'm trying to look through the most views I see on any of my videos. One of them has 903 views.
You want to know what mine is? I'm gonna make you sick. It makes me sick because it's a stupid video. This is when you ever hear them say on the other live stream when they talk about, well, what's the your favorite video?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. My channel. I have to go to YouTube Studio, right? So YouTube Studio.
Like I said, usually our favorite video is going to be the worst one. And the one we think is going to be the worst will be the best.
I wish there was maybe I can't sort it by views. Views.
Yeah.
66,255 views. And it was a crypto mining video. I said I mined 500 electronium in less than 24 hours.
I think I seen that title the other day. I just hadn't watched it yet because you got to talking about it, so I kind of glanced back in there and found it.
6 minutes and 48-second video, which is monetized, right? It's a monetized video, but I don't think I've made like anything off of it. And it was 66,255 views on that one. And then another one that I did I've had a couple of like 8,000 and 9,000 views, but not crazy. I mean, most of that's kind of the thing with YouTube. When you put out a bunch of content, it's like a residual income almost, because people will go back and they'll see your videos from a few years ago, right? Like when you look back at some of mine I was looking at them today of when I was going out on some swarm captures and stuff. And hell, it was actually like a real YouTube channel then. It was like, oh, wow, Bob's out on an adventure today. He's out in the middle of the country getting some bees out of a tree. And then he caught 2 swarms, and you could see the clusters hanging from both branches, from 2 different branches. So it was, kind of exciting stuff. And I was new to, it was a new and fresh thing for me. So it was exciting to me. And I could tell it in the video, which was kind of refreshing. Well,
don't quote me, but I think it was Brian that Castle High was talking about just here a while back. If the YouTube, when it processes your video, and it can tell if you have copyrighted music in there, or was that I think maybe Yappy said it on Brian's live, but said if it can detect copyrighted video in there, it has to be able to detect your mood and you showing excitement in your video and kind of pushing that video out to more people.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, what makes it they have to, dude. I mean, you can literally talk about something in the chat, and next thing there's an ad for that item up on your damn
on my phone,
on your phone or something. It's very perplexing. Well, I said I worked at iHeartRadio and I was in sales. So some of the shit that you could do for targeting people for ads would make you want to go down to the nearest river and throw your cell phone in it. For real.
I believe it.
They've got it.
I mean, something that's listening there, because when you talk about something, next thing you know, you got that ad there.
Well, it's okay. So here's the deal. It geolocates your phone, right? So it always knows where you're at, right? And even when you turn it off on your phone, let's say you've got an iPhone and you've turned off your location thing.
It still knows what tower you're connected to.
Right, but not only that. Let's say somebody else is in the store with an iPhone. Well, your iPhone bounces off of their iPhone as well in a network. So they'll know that your phone is right there. So if, let's say you're in Lowe's and Duracell batteries did this. So you're in Lowe's, you got your geo off. They don't know you're in Lowe's, but someone else comes by with an iPhone that's in proximity to your iPhone. Well, then they know you're both in Lowe's, right? Mm-hmm. So you'll both get served up with a Duracell battery thing that says, hey, don't forget your batteries. It was a literal pop-up ad that would show up that would say, hey, don't forget your batteries. Dang. And it's crazy. They had it down. We could tell if you were in a location. They had it so geo-fenced. Geofencing was usually a perimeter around an area. They've got it where they can perimeter around the actual building that you walk into. So if you're pulling into a McDonald's parking lot and you're at Subway and Subway wants to serve you with a coupon, and let's say you pull into McDonald's, you're like, damn, this drive-thru is long. And you look at your phone, you got a notification that, hey, Subway saved $2 off a combo or something.
You run next door.
And they kill it like that all day long.
Well, I know years ago they were trying to have the lawsuits. I mean, like I said, it was quite a while back. Like McDonald's and Burger King, they were all the exhaust coming out the roof.
Yeah.
You can smell the food. They said, well, that's too tempting. Y'all are trying to tempt people into getting it, and they were trying to have lawsuits. They said, well, we got to exhaust it somehow. We can't just keep it in the building.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the law makes them do it. They have to do it. I had a guy that bought a marina out in the woods, but every morning he said he would definitely get on there and throw like sausage and bacon and everything on the grill and vent it out. And he said, man, the campers and all would come running in to get them damn bacon biscuits and sausage biscuits in the morning. But
good advertising.
Yeah, best kind, right?
Yeah.
Man, I'm hungry. That's bacon.
But on the bee stuff, what is your goal as far as how many hives you're wanting to eventually have?
That seems to change like daily almost. I didn't really set a limit for myself on how big I wanted to get. I kind of thought that at when I started, it was like I thought that with the amount of space that I had, I was thinking how much I could put out here. And so I wanted to get to about 50 colonies out here on this property. Mm-hmm. And then I started doing more research. I'm like, hey, these people are putting bees on other people's property. Yeah. And then I had a buddy that says, I got like 3 acres out here. You can come put some out here. And now I'm like, well, yeah, I can do that, can't I? So, it's starting to get bigger and bigger. And then I got a little taste of the honey money. And now I'm like, man, if I could just ramp that up, that would be good. So I don't know. But see, the whole thing is with the expansion, it goes back to cost, right? So there's got to be an end to the means. I mean, I know I'm not going to be like the honey king of North America. That's not going to be the thing, and truth be told, you make more money selling bees and doing pollination services than you do with honey.
Yeah.
And so there's got to be a way to say, even if you're not profiting, that your profits are enough to reinvest to keep you going and keep it, making sense. Because, we make money at our day jobs, but nobody wants to take all your day job money and pour it back into your hobby and just keep going in debt, But I wanted to get to about 50 out here and, maybe start selling some nukes like my mentor does, but we'll see how that shakes out. Yeah. I mean, I could honestly, if everything goes good, I could probably, without buying any bees, I could probably get to, I'm going to say 35, 40 this year. If the weather's nice, if everything plays good, with splits. And that's colonies, not necessarily full honey production, but like, a mixture of nukes and graduating those nukes and remaking new nukes.
Yeah, something building up for next year.
Well, if you think about it, I went from 4 over winter to spring to nukes to 12 double deeps that survived through winter. So if you do that, then if I could do that same process again, then I'm looking at least like 36, Yeah.
That's kind of about what I'm wanting for the year. By the end of the season, I'm 30, 35, something like that, 40 at the most.
So I'm trying to make it logical to where I'm not, and I did this my first year. I stressed the bees by over splitting. And then when the pests came, it basically wiped me out. I would be way further ahead had I not taken an ass beat in the first year.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and I learned, and now I have the whole opposite problem. Is this going to swarm before I can do anything? Now let me kill my colony by doing a Demaray split the coldest day of the spring.
I mean, I could have ended up with some more colonies last year, but by the time the honey flow was over, I was pulling honey and I almost had a heat stroke out in the yard. And I was laid up in the bed for almost 2 weeks. I mean, covered up in multiple layers. The vent in the room was turned off and I was still rolled up in a ball, just shivering. It messed my internal temperature up.
Right.
But I missed a couple of swarms after that because once I pulled all the honey boxes off, they were all full of bees. So when you break it back down to one deep and one medium, I mean, they were just bearding off the front.
Right.
And I didn't get back out there to make more splits and put them in new hives, new locations.
So what I did last year a couple of times in the summer, like I said, I let most of my honey stay until the winter when I pulled it off. When it started getting warmer, I started pulling honey off. And because I'm a one guy, I'll do a few hives at a time. Right. But what I did in the summer is I would take off a super and then go spin it out and then bring them the empties back so they can refill them.
Yeah.
And give them the room back, but now I've got enough supers out there to choke a horse, and nothing to put them on at the moment. And actually, I do have some colonies I could probably put supers on right now to get them to start drawing some comb, and I do have a couple with it on there.
Yeah.
But
I think I bought 20 or 25 more supers for this year for the new yard that I'm setting up, which I plan on only putting maybe 10 hives there this year.
Just to see how they do.
Yeah, just to see how it does. And I've told the people we'll put 10 this year. If everything works out, hey, we'll add another 10 next year. And they've got 20 acres. He said you can line this entire side of the property up with however many you want.
He says that until they're like all in his damn house.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I said, you got to realize you're going to have a lot more bees here. He said, well, they're flying in the back by the pig pens all the time. They're coming up to the water trough.
Right. Yeah, mine do that too. Like where my pig likes to knock the water out and make mud puddles in front of the pigsty right there. Yeah. And the bees go right to the mud and sit on the mud and drink the water puddles that she's knocking out. So
what I was thinking about doing on some of like my out yards, I looked on Amazon, eBay. You can find different little websites, but they got some little 12-volt deep well pumps. I don't need a deep well. I just need it 12, 15 foot deep around here. Will hit water. I got one in my backyard, one of the old hand picture pumps.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 13 foot. And I just got that by the chicken pen just to play with. But I figured get one of those little pumps, a small solar panel on a battery, and have a little trough there near the bees. That way, once a day, twice a day on the timer, you'll kick on, kind of blow all the old water out, refill it, and they have water right there by them.
Well, here's what I thought to do. You see where my bees are right next to my AC unit,
mm-hmm.
and it's always got a stream of water coming out of the little P-trap on there, right?
Yeah.
Just putting a piece of gutter underneath that P-trap and letting that water, that cool water, go into that piece of gutter that's capped on both ends, and maybe put some stones or something in there where they can just land on it and drink the water. And
you can probably put like one of those little plastic chicken feeders, little chick feeder.
Yeah, I got them set out there. That's usually what I open feed my 1-to-1 in when I put it out.
Yeah, that's what I used last year.
And also, I don't know if you noticed that little storage building that I always walk by that's got the beekeeping sign on it on the wall. You may not have noticed it, but I always park my truck next to it. But that's actually a well pump house that it's got a well in there, but there's no pump or anything in it anymore because we're on the city water. But I could use that and pump as much water as I needed to pump anywhere around here.
Yeah.
So I should probably just pump that and irrigate the empty lots next to me and grow up as much crap as they can out there.
I just figure like this. I mean, I don't even need maybe a little 20-watt solar panel with a small battery. And you said you like electronic stuff. Are you familiar with Arduinos?
Yeah.
Microcontrollers? I like playing with them. I could program one in to kick on 2 or 3 times a day, just kind of rinse the water out, make sure it stays cool, fresh.
Well, yeah, they even got they do a lot of that with that like hydroponic stuff or drip growing irrigation systems where they've got the little timer plug into that just on a little pump that just pumps like, I don't know, 15 minutes or something. Yeah. It's just a drip system. So it's like, I think 5 minutes every hour or 15 minutes every hour or something like that, and just keeps water in there.
I just figured go with a little Arduino and a relay, a solid state relay or something, because if I try to put a regular timer out there, most of them you find are 110 volt plugs that you put in the wall.
What about a float switch? Something like that. Where
you could do that.
Only when it came down, it would kick the water on for however long it needed to fill it back up.
You could do that. I thought about it, but to me, if the water sits there so long, they're not drinking it enough, you might start getting stagnant on the top and getting a little growth.
Skeeters and everything else.
So if I get it to where it turns on multiple times a day and just kind of flushes out the little trough or container that I have for it, it'll flush it out, fresh water, it stays cool, and nothing's growing in it.
That's true. Yeah, see, that's good thinking. You're like, man, I over-engineer stuff all the time.
Yep, I do too.
And
I was working on building like a goat milking pump last year because we were thinking about getting Nigerian dwarf goats, but that fell through, and I got started with the beef stuff, or the year before last, I'm sorry. And I took the Arduino, had multiple LCD displays. You turn it on, it'd have Kodiak Farm pop up, what version of the firmware that I built into it. And I had pressure relays to where, I mean, you don't want just solid pressure trying to milk something where it's going to hurt them.
Right.
So it was set to where it reached a certain pressure, it'd kick off. When the pressure got too low, it'd kick back on. But it had a flow switch in it too, or a flow meter. It would show you how much milk was flowing through there.
Oh, that's nice.
And when you got through milking each goat, you can get the little reset button. You was wanting to keep up with, you don't have to, but that was just crazy little stuff like that I like playing with.
Well, see, that's, man, why are you driving a crane when you got all this tech skill?
That's what everybody asked me. My first plant job, I went in, I was working on a shovel, and it was cold. Right. I looked up in that cab, and I seen that operator had his jacket pulled off, feet kicked up on the dashboard, taking a nap. I said, that's the job I want. I've been doing it over 20 years now.
Well, that's the same thing. People ask me, if you've got all this education, why are you driving a bread truck? Well, because I don't have kids to worry about. I can do what I want to do now, pretty much. I don't want to do anything other than keep bees and stay at home.
Yeah.
At this point, but
we only got one younger one left. Well, I say younger. He's 17. He'll be 18 in a couple of months, but he's a junior this year. Okay. The other two are already grown, moved out. The middle one had a grandchild last year, so he'll be a year old in here in a couple of days.
Well, that's the thing for me. I'm about 6 credit hours short of my master's degree in health science. I spent several years running a nuclear cyclotron to make PET CT drugs, diagnostic imaging agents. And it was all contract work. So as long as you had the hospital contracts to provide dosing, everything was awesome. I could work as much as I wanted to, as long as I wanted to, make as much overtime as I wanted to. And it was such a niche field that the company I worked for, if someone went on vacation that did what I did, they would fly one of us to that location to work there. And they were always shorthanded because of the time to be trained up to do the job, right? Yeah. So every time, without fail, every time I did it, they would say, well, what do we got to do to get you to stay here? Well, that's easy. Write the big golf check. You write the big golf check, things can happen. That was my standard response to them. And they would write the big golf check and move me. So I moved from Columbia, where we lived, to I went and worked at Michigan State University in the radiology department there. And then they sent me down to Charlotte to work at Charlotte, which is real close to here, an hour, right? So I'm like, yeah, so they gave me a raise, sent me down to Charlotte. I worked in Charlotte. Then they sent me down to Fort Lauderdale and to cover for somebody on vacation. Hey, what do we got to do to get you to stay down here? Big golf check, stroke the check, and we're happy. And, and then my mother started getting sick, and they had sent me to Augusta, Georgia, which is also about an hour from here, a little bit longer actually. And they said the same thing. Big golf check. So I was making a lot of money. And the problem is in the contract environment, when you're making a lot of money and they start losing contracts with these hospitals, then they start cutting, and where they start cutting is at the top.
Yep.
Because they can
what's
pay
going to save us the most money.
Yep. So that's what happened. I got downsized. And at that point, my son was a senior in high school and my daughter was a junior in high school. And they were the only show in town, the company I was working for. So it's the only way I could get back into that field, bless you, was to relocate. So, I sent out my resume. I interviewed with Harvard School of Medicine at Boston General. Richard!
Hey, you guys are up late again.
Oh man, we're
I have no life.
We're old beekeepers with no lives.
Yeah,
So-
it's cold, windy, and wet here today, man. I couldn't do nothing either. Hunker
Yeah,
down.
I was just telling them about how I was in the nuclear field, and
Oh, okay. That's why you're weird.
yeah, exactly, and so when Harvard School of Medicine tells you, we just don't feel we can pay you what your resume demands. And I say, I'm unemployed. Humor me.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you go to Boston and you work at Harvard, your resume says you worked at Harvard School of Medicine, you basically are writing your check for your next job.
Yeah.
So you stay there for a while, or, whatever. You might like it and stay a long time. But if you don't and you stay there a couple years, who wouldn't hire you?
Yeah.
We can get this guy from Harvard School of Medicine. Great. Sign him up. But at any rate, that's not the way it worked out. And the way it worked out was my kids moved out, right? My youngest graduated high school. She got married right away to a soldier. They moved to Korea. Then they moved to Germany, where they're at now. And not 3 months after she moved out, my mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and we had to move back here. And then we've been here for 3 years. So, and which kind of limited me. So now I was kind of stuck, have to work somewhere. So
Yeah.
that's,
I'm hoping. I mean, I know we all hope for early retirement, but I'm hoping another couple years I can get out of the plants and just go to my bee stuff full time. Now, if we still had bills and all that, yeah, I'd have to keep working several more years. But we finally to the point we don't know nothing. So
It's nice
what I
being
can do on honey and bees and all that, we could make it.
right. And that's kind of where I'm at. The only thing I wish is like my son or somebody had the same pattern. Well, no
Same
offense. No offense to young people, but y'all are lazy. I mean,
Lee, I'm
I
with
hate-
you. Like, being financially free is really nice, man.
Yeah.
Not owing debt on anything, man. Like, the only thing I pay on is a house.
Yeah.
I don't pay on anything else except
Well,
my monthly bills and a house.
everything we have like our regular utilities and then vehicle insurance. That's it.
Yep. Yeah, same here.
yeah, I was like
House
that
payment.
until I went and bought my truck. And
Yeah.
well,
Truck's necessary. You need it.
Well, I told my girlfriend's Renee. I tell her all the time, I will never buy another brand new vehicle.
It's pointless.
Number one, they want too much money for them these days. I mean, you could buy a house in some places what they want for a vehicle.
You know what I own, Lee?
If you drive off the lot, you lost basically half of your money. And then you don't know what bugs are in it because it's brand new. They ain't worked everything out.
Yep.
So I told her if it's not at least 2 years old, I won't buy it no more.
I own a 94 Ford Ranger.
I had
You
an
know what?
89 Ford Ranger.
Dude, my truck it runs so awesome, and I don't have to pay $5,000 every time I go in to get it fixed.
Now, I got in a
Yeah.
wreck last year. Somebody rear-ended me at 55 miles an hour while I was
Yeah.
sitting dead stop at a red light.
Oh man.
And the only thing, I had a Kia Sorento. The only
Yeah.
thing that kept on driving through me, I had the receiving hitch under the back.
No
It
way.
broke it off of the frame. So I went and bought a 2018 Nissan Rogue, and just several months back, the old lady, she wanted another car. So we found a 2002 Chevy Impala, $3,500, mint condition. That 02 had half of the miles of what my 2018 got.
Well-
One owner, old lady, garage kept, wouldn't even allow the grandkids to sit in the back seat. Clean.
What kind of car was it, Lee?
2002 Chevy Impala.
Oh,
I ain't
So-
mint.
So
Grandma kept it, huh?
Yep.
Nice.
You guys seen my truck in the videos, right? My black truck.
Yeah. I like your truck. Yeah, nice.
So that truck, see, my son was looking for a truck. He's like, Dad, how much did you pay for your truck? I said, my truck? He's like, yeah. The lady was looking for a truck. He's like,
Sorry, that was me. My bad.
oh, sorry. 20. I said, 23 grand. He's like, how'd you get that truck for 23,000? I said, well, first of all, it was a 2016. It wasn't a 2021, or so it was a few years old.
Yeah.
It only had 50. No, I think when I got it, it had 47,000 miles on it.
Yep.
It's an XL, so it's a work truck. It's not like a maxed out truck. And then I took it with cash money and put wheels and tires on it. And I put the running boards on myself. And I put the fender flares on myself. And I went and had the windows tinted. And I had the subwoofer. I put that in. I did all that myself and paid cash for it. So I didn't pay any interest or anything on all the extra crap that I put on the truck. And it totally transformed the truck. It looked like a work. I mean, it is a work truck. It just had, basic everything pretty much. And, and now now people are like, hey, you want to sell your truck? No, I'm good. I'm good. I didn't need to pay 50 grand for a truck when I could get a truck for 25 grand and make it look like 50 grand.
Yeah.
For
As like my little Nissan Rogue. Like I said, I bought it last year, and it was 2018. They wanted, I think, 23 for it. I told them, if you'll do 21.5 tax, title, license, everything, I'll give it to you right now and walk out the door. They went and talked to the manager, come back, they said deal. Gave them everything. And left.
Cash money, huh?
Yep.
Cash
Well, the
king,
other
man, you throw that cash at a dealer, they're like, yeah, ooh, cash,
Well-
yeah, give me.
well, hey, with the dealer that I bought my truck with, I actually
Nice.
used to sell vehicles there, so they knew they couldn't bullshit me when I went in there. So, like with my trade that I took in, I said the book says it's worth this. That's what I want. I'm not taking less than that. I'm not expecting more, but this is what you're going to give me. And I said, if you can do that and get the financing right, I'll walk out with the truck. I didn't come out of pocket with no cash, just my trade and gone. So
Good.
it worked out well. So Rich,
Yep.
we talked on the phone today.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
I did
Yes,
my
we did.
Demaray, and then after I did my Demaray, I was sitting here thinking I may have just killed my colony with the temperature drop tonight.
You'll never know till you go out. I'd wait till the temperature comes back up, huh?
Yeah,
You have to sit there and worry now, huh?
I did looked at my temperature. We're showing 59 right now. And the next several hours, we're dropping 25 degrees to 34.
I'll tell you what we're at. Give me 1 second. We're probably,
mine's showing 53 at the moment.
let's see where we're at. It's cold here. I know that for
Yeah,
sure.
it's showing 59 and the low's 34 tonight.
We are 39 right now, and we're going down to 26.
We're supposed to get, I think, 29 tomorrow night,
Yeah, I'm getting 23 tomorrow night.
which Rich will get it a little bit sooner than I will. He's to
Yeah,
my,
it's coming east. It's coming east from So
It's-
today, and then you
Well-
know what? It's gonna jump back up in the 80s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In
Yeah,
the next couple
it's gonna
days, it's
go
going
from-
back up to the 80s.
Yeah, so has 30. What is today? Friday.
Yeah.
So tomorrow it's going to be 59, low of 25. Sunday, high of 67, low of 27. Monday, high of 80, low of 49.
That's
So,
about what we got. We about a day behind you.
but I'm feeling better though now that I'm thinking about it because of the time between the rains and the freeze. Maybe that rain that was in the colony from when it started raining when I was doing the split. Maybe that will actually be gone by then. Maybe their heat in there will help evaporate it.
Hey, y'all don't forget this weekend we changing time too.
Yep. Spring forward, fall back. Gain an hour.
That means we got one more hour of brood rearing.
Yep. Longer days. Yeah, that's exactly what we're waiting
Now,
for.
when I get home from work, I have a little more daylight to do something.
So
Right
tomorrow,
I leave before daylight and I get home after dark.
Tomorrow's video will be called "Get to Work, Bitches." You got an extra hour.
Yeah, man. Are you off today, Lee, or you got to go to work tomorrow?
No, I got to go to work. I don't get off until next Saturday.
Okay.
We're killing him.
I know, man.
I'm about to have to run.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I took a couple naps today.
Little micro naps in between winks.
Yeah. Even them being up on the unit and all the noise, I can hear them say my name from up there, and I'm wide awake. I don't wake up groggy and trying to focus. It's like that. I'm up.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous job too, though.
Yeah, it can be.
My brother's
the ones on the other end
down in Florida.
I know it's the ones on the other end. They're worried.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I run cranes, but I run dirt equipment too. I can run backhoe, trackhoe, dozer, motor grader.
Oh, so you're a local 20. What is it? Local 21?
I was at a local 406 for a little while.
Okay.
Years ago, but they had a lot of out of state work, and I had just got married at the time, just had a baby, and I wasn't looking to travel. So I've been non-union ever since.
So how's your wife deal with your girlfriend? You just said your girlfriend Renee, earlier, and you're just talking about you were getting married, or you were married.
No, years ago when me and my first wife got married.
I thought you were double timing over there.
Oh no, no, not at all. I got one too good.
I tell my wife when she starts talking about running around on her, I said, I got one wife more than I want right now.
That's what she tells me. She said, I got more I can handle. I don't want no more. But I mean, we've known each other since we were little kids too. And then she was married before, got 2 boys, and then I had my daughter, and I was married before, and all the kids are within a couple years of each other.
That's how we are. We're a blended family too. My wife had a daughter, and then I had a daughter and a son, and then after our divorces, then we got married and we had a daughter, so we got 4 together, and they're all grown.
Well, with everybody on here right now, we could kind of do the Brady Bunch.
I know, right?
I know. Start get a bunch of people here. Stay, bud. You're all right.
Yeah, I mean, Ian Stepler stopped in. He didn't get on the stream, but we're conversing in the chat, and Dry Cut came in, and Brian stopped by
hey,
the
what's up,
chat.
guys? I missed a few minutes ago.
Cajun Homestead went in for the night.
Yeah,
there's just a few on right now. There's 5 on.
Yeah, I mean, I was sitting around, dude. I was like so bored. My wife was over there playing a video game, and I was just like sitting here watching mindless YouTube videos. And then I was like, I watched that. What's the Texas Beekeeper? I watched her little video, and I was like so excited and pumped. I had to get in and do a live stream. Now we talked about that.
Doing lives, man. That's what it's for.
That was such that video. That was like 10 minutes that I'll never get back in my life, dude.
Damn, Wayne's honeybees.
He said it was a little bitty swarm today.
It was underneath like an outdoor fire pit. It was just like it was like 4 or 5 little tiny pieces of comb, and I'm like, you're digging the bottom. You're digging the bottom of the content making barrel when that's that's the.
My mentor said he was pulling up some boards today with the tractor. He said he about opened up a big swarm today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like about opened up a good size swarm today. He's like, they're getting ready, man. Once we get past this next couple of days, he said they'll probably start swarming here pretty quick because it's going to start being 80-degree days consistently.
Usually the 3rd or 4th week of March is when our swarm activity really picks up here.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's when I was going back and looking at those videos earlier today. The one at the church that I was doing was on the 25th of, no, the one in the tree where I got the double swarm was on the 25th of March. So
Have you
that's
swarm trapped Lee before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah, I caught three in the same location within 3 weeks in the same
nice,
box.
man. Awesome. Good deal.
And that was in a single 5-frame nuke?
Yeah, I called it, brought it home, put it in a 10-frame box, and brought that little 5-frame nuke right back to the same location. 3 weeks in a row, 3 swarms.
So every week you're going back and catching a swarm.
Yeah.
Awesome, dude.
Now, I mean, with a 5-frame nuke, yeah, it's going to be smaller swarms, but they ended up making money.
Well,
Yeah.
you could just put another box on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Strap
turn it
it
into a
down
10-frame. Yeah.
I've got the 5-frame super that can go on it. Now, the bottom of the box is, I guess, nailed and glued to it, so you can't take the bottom board off of this one.
Right.
But
That's
I
how I
can
had
put
mine.
5-frame.
Because that's what I was telling Rich earlier, is that it was so easy because I could just close the dial on the
Yep.
front and duct tape the lid on and throw it in the back seat of my car and take it home.
Now, the way I done it, like my lids, like I said, all of them I get from Better Biggie. Now, it's got like the migratory style lid on top,
Yep,
but I
that's
put
what I got.
one screw in it just to hold it down. Yeah. Other than that, once I get there, I go after dark, spin the dial around the clothes to where it's just a vent for them. I put it in my vehicle and drive. Now, last year I went and picked up 8 nukes, and they were in like the
Jester box
or
that.
Jester style, but it was the cardboard. It wasn't the corrugated plastic. I've got Jesters too, but when I went and got them from an apiary, I put them in the back of my vehicle and let Nissan Rogue and drove down the road with basically 80,000 bees in the back. And I had about 2 dozen flying free. Just driving down the road. I actually took a video, but it was on my phone that broke a couple of weeks ago.
Test your anxiety, huh?
Yeah. I had to transport a nuke to one of my buddies, the one that got me started, because I brought some to his house, and I had a dozen or so flying around in the car. When I got there, he met me outside, open door, and bees are flying out my car.
Well, you can bring me some nukes, and then I'll send you home with a couple nukes, and we'll just diversify genetics in our yards.
There you go.
Do a swap.
As long as I wasn't swatting at them in the car, they didn't bother me. I mean, they'd land on my arm or whatever.
When I had some bees get out, it seemed like they just focused on the glass, mainly trying to get out.
Yeah.
You know? But even that. But yeah, the swarm, I like swarm. I like to go get swarms when people call me for them. I don't know how I feel about like setting traps out all over the place and having to go back and check them all the time or anything like that.
With my traps, I keep them all fairly close, within about 10 minutes of me.
So they're not bad then. I mean, I've got a nuke box strapped to the side of a tree out there. And I figured, well, maybe, if something gets loose, they don't give a shit about that box.
Yeah.
Well, what I did, my little 5-frame nukes, on 2 of them, I put a 1x4 on the side. And it was about 3 foot long, and I drilled a little hole in the top. That way, if I take a location, I put one nail or one screw in a tree and then just hang it on that. And that's it.
I might do that.
I just use a ratchet strap, man. I strap a bucket to the side.
Yeah. Hey, anything will work.
Yeah. That's what they're looking for. Bees are looking for the space, man. They want space. Yeah. They're looking for something to move into. Something where they can build and reproduce.
And dry conditions. So dry conditions. And
it's something dry, something dry, and something they can defend easily. Like they want a entrance and exit that they can defend.
I'm excited about the bucket because that's if that works, if I can catch one in a bucket, man, with all them restaurants giving me them pickle barrels, I'll have the whole county.
I'm just trying to figure out. I don't know what how many cubic inches or whatever a 5-gallon bucket is. I'm trying to figure if it's about the same size as a 10 deep. If you were to like break that bucket down, but I don't think you're probably looking at like an 8-frame.
Well, what I was told
That's
is
just
like,
just my opinion. I'm probably wrong.
I've seen
Yeah.
a couple different opinions out there,
Mhm.
and one was that I see people doing like the double nuke, but it's one box, right?
Yep.
I see them doing that, and they've been successful with that. I've seen people just taking a 10 deep hive body, and
Yep.
they've been successful with that.
Setting it up in a tree somewhere. Yeah.
And then I see people saying that if you use a deep and a medium, that's the size you use.
Yeah.
You know, and I've seen people do 5-frame nukes and catch them. So my thing is, and I've seen them just get in a water thing.
Water
you know?
meter beer. Yeah.
So,
Water meter.
So it's like, is there a definitive answer? I don't think so. I think that's when we get in that whole debate where you're right, I'm wrong type of, you know.
The only thing I would look at on that is maybe the size of swarm that you could catch. Like I said, a 5-frame nuke, you're going to catch a smaller swarm, probably versus a 10-frame deep.
Right.
That's
So,
what, that's
I mean,
what I'm
once
saying.
the
Like
scout come look and realize, hey, this 10-frame deep is a bigger area, they're going to bring a bigger swarm.
Yeah. And you know, when the funny thing is, those scouts, they know. It's like, how do they know that how many of the bees from the colony, the mothership, are going to leave, and how much space do we need?
Yeah.
Do they take out their little tape measures and they're like, they walk every inch
they
of the
measure
box?
it up. They measure it up. They have to. They have to. That's the this is how I'm thinking of it. I'm being the bee. If I'm swarming, right, where would I want to go? Somewhere warm, protected, you know, someplace high maybe, something that has a lot of space. I would like to think the bees go in there, they're sizing up, they're walking it, and there's something that they are able to communicate to the colony, like, hey, there's a space, it's this big, we can take this many, and it's communicated in the social structure of bees is something we have no idea about. It's completely complex. They're on a language level that we have no idea about. And probably scientists are sitting here, how come bees are doing all this crazy stuff that we don't know about? Well,
I saw a clip today that what you just said brought this back to my attention was they had like a fish tank that was covered with a light on it.
Yeah.
And it had a bunch of bees in it.
Yeah.
With the lights on. And the bees were all at the top at the light. And when they clicked the light off, all the bees dropped straight to the bottom of the thing.
What?
Just literally just dropped to the bottom of it.
Wow.
Hey, I could share my screen if I can find the damn thing. Hold on one second. Where did I see that? Beekeeping basics? I think it was in beekeeping basics or beekeeping newbies or beekeeping. Oh, yeah. Okay. So here, I'll share my screen, I think.
Hey, doggo.
Share my screen. And where's it at? Share screen. Chrome tab, right? That's what it'd be. Chrome tab versus Facebook, beekeeping basics. Share. I don't know if it's got any. Watch the light. You see, they're all at the light.
Yep. Whoa.
It's a loop, so it'll show again. Maybe can I make it bigger? Oh no, that didn't do it. Hold on.
A mini player.
I could see it though.
2 arrows that are aiming opposite of each other. There we go. It's instant.
And they're not hurt. They just started walking around. Oh, hey, that's not what we wanted. We don't watch no freaky deaky. What's going on? But yeah, that's crazy that they just were at the light and then turn the light off. They just all drop. Oh, I thought it was a fish tank, but it's like some medical type of thing.
Come here, man.
But yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Well, I hate to do it, but I was looking at time. I still got 3 cases of honey to label and load them in Renee's car because I got to go to work tomorrow. She's going to farmer's market for me.
I hate keeping Leah up, man. You're a boss, dude. I'd be out, man.
If I could, believe me, I'd stay up to 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. I hear you.
Well, is
All right,
the
man.
how many bottles you usually sell at the farmers market when you go?
Sometimes case and a half, sometimes 3.5 cases. So normally I'll try to bring 3 on average
Nice.
at
Good
least.
for you, man.
And then I mean we have my lip balm that we do.
Nice.
Well, hopefully you guys
Let's let
celebrate.
Lee go. Let's let Lee
Real
go so we
quick.
don't keep him up, man. I feel so bad when we keep him hanging. And like, oh man, poor guy's got.
I'm enjoying it. Like I said, I mean I'm finally getting to
As long
get
as
in on
he's
these
safe, man.
lives in the evening time.
Well,
Okay,
I like
man, as long as you enjoy it, man.
if
I don't like to keep a man from his sleep, dude.
Well, ideally, I would like to make this kind of a regular thing,
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm down.
and
man.
maybe
down.
not a every night thing. Obviously not, but just
I was about to say, 'cause you go to work at 2 a.m, so when you
I'm
do
self-employed.
can't stay up that late.
that's
I'm
only
self-employed.
until I don't feel like doing it anymore. Right? Then I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, I'll
I
make
get a
time
job
whenever,
anyway.
guys. Yeah.
So we'll definitely get it going on. But yeah, we can just call it, and it's
Oh,
been great.
y'all can keep on talking, and you
Yeah,
still
we
got
can-
6 viewers in there.
Yeah, we still got 6 viewers and 3 hours to go. Woohoo! We got to beat last
Yeah.
night's 5.5 hours. No,
There
it
you
won't
go.
happen.
That'd be
It
crazy.
won't happen tonight.
All
But
right, well,
yeah,
y'all have a good night, guys.
All right, be
Lee,
good, Lee.
thank you
Good
so
seeing
much.
you.
Everybody in the
Hey,
chat room, y'all have a good one too.
send me. Oh, let me give you my email real quick, so
Okay,
you can send me that spreadsheet.
put it in the private
put
chat
it-
bar.
Private chat.
Come on, dogs.
That
Let's go.
was the coolest spreadsheet I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Come on, Douglas.
But see, then I got to go through the whole numbering my hives and everything so I can track them.
Yep. It ain't too bad.
So we'll do that and get it squared away. But yeah, if you could shoot me that spreadsheet, I appreciate it. Now I want to.
Yeah, whatever spreadsheet it is, shoot it over to me too.
All
Dude,
right.
it's
I'll drop my
awesome.
account.
Hey, pop it up real quick before you run, because I know you got it on your computer, and show Rich.
Let me get to it.
Look at me milking him in for a few more minutes.
I know.
Oh, that ain't no problem.
A little more free work. This thing's awesome, dude. I was like, really? I gotta have that in my life, like right now. And as we say it here, RAT, rat now.
Rat now. All right.
All right,
Rat-
coming up.
Rat now.
Rat
All right,
now.
there you go. Check this out.
Okay.
Well, y'all go to a yard that I don't have anything in it. Say I click on yard 5.
Okay.
All these number here are basically blank. But if I put a new hive, say hive number 45,
Yeah.
it automatically knows there's one hive in that yard. I put another hive, it automatically enters over here how many hives in the yard.
Oh, you ran all your stuff on Excel, dude. That's what I need to learn that
Same,
program.
same thing with
Oh.
supers. If I put supers in, comb
it's much
supers,
better.
everything transmits to the right.
You could designate numbers for each item. You can,
Yeah.
You can put certain numbers like
It calculates over here how many cells are not empty and then enters the total. Let's say if I go to this tab, that's yard 5. I'm going to have to make this smaller because the window moves. All right. It automatically set it right here. There's how many hives are in the yard. It's supers. 2 hives there, and it puts it into a graph form.
Oh, that's
So
so
if I
cool.
go back and say I pull 25 gallons of honey,
Uh-huh.
and my average moisture was 16.3, it puts that down here. But whenever you go to your graph art,
Yep.
there's the hives for the yard, how many supers, how many gallons of honey was collected in that yard, the total for all of these yards,
Each colony.
everything. Your moisture level for each yard, and then your overall moisture level average for those yards.
So it's
Very
doing that by
nice.
the yard, but it doesn't really
Yeah.
do it per colony, right? You don't have it set up to do it per colony.
No, like if you go to each individual yard,
You could
you'll
set it
have
up
it
that way,
right
Bob.
here. This yard is showing average of 18.42, and that was the average for colony 1 right here, average for colony 2,
So
and
I guess
average
here's a
for
question
Antonio.
for you. How did you figure out that? Did you just figure 5 supers? You're basically based it on 20 pounds per super. Is that kind of how you figured it out?
No, I just entered if I put 5 supers right here,
Uh-huh.
whenever I pull honey, I enter how many pounds of honey I pulled out of that hive. Not just per super, that's for the entire hive. So out of 5 supers, it was 100 pounds.
So when you do a hive, you're extracting that honey, and then you're putting it in your pails, and you're saying, okay, this is 5 gallons or whatever, and that's 60 pounds or 100 pounds or however.
Well, I got up. Let me see. Let me turn my light on here for you, and I'll show you.
It's a nice little spreadsheet you got there, Lee.
I'm surprised he doesn't have his lights on Alexa yet. Alexa, lights
they
on.
Are. They are, but Alexa's in the kitchen.
Talk to her like she's part of the family.
Jesus
I have a
Christ.
digital scale. I have a. Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you switched to his other
Okay, I
mic.
turned the wireless mic on, but I have a separate scale system when I put my buckets on.
Nice.
I can weigh each bucket out,
Nice.
and then I enter that into the computer.
Nice.
So really, you have to, when you're, I know you're set up now for extraction because it's a lot like what I'm trying to build, right? So, so you basically just pull all those frames, uncap them, put them in there, and you have to do a full clean to get accurate numbers, right? So you have to get the honey out of your cappings, the honey out of everything. Is that how you're doing it, or is it
No, that's just the honey that comes out of the extractor. The cappings, that was separate. I didn't factor that in, which I need to.
Well, you could basically do it by yard doing that, right? You do the cappings, then you just divide it up by the number of hives and just figure.
Yeah, because I'll leave one bucket under the enema capping tank and just let everything drain into there. I have another bucket that goes under the extractor.
Okay, I got you. That's awesome, dude. Thank you for sharing that with us because that's
no problem.
That's
then,
impressive.
like you were saying, as far as inspections on your yard, let's see. No, I'm trying to remember where I put it in here. Share another document with you here real quick. Let it pull up.
So you have a yard inspection sheet too that you do, or a hive inspection sheet?
I have an individual hive inspection sheet, but generally I only use it if something's wrong with the hive.
Okay, let me pop that up for you.
I follow this guy. His name's Jim Hamby. He's another beekeeper. Dude, this guy looks like he's cooking some fire chicken, man.
Yeah, he just subbed to me day before yesterday.
Did you see his barbecue, dude?
I ain't got to look at it yet.
Oh man, wait till you.
But I have in here, what hive number, the yard that it's in, time, date, and then the temperature. That way, hey, if I find something wrong with the hive later, I can see, hey, this was going on this day. The temperature kind of fluctuated real bad.
Right.
Just all your basic information. If the queen was in there, was she marked? What color? How was the pattern looking? Did they have queen cells in the hive? If I did do any treatments, the date that I done treatments, what treatment was it? I can check boxes, everything like that.
That would be cool if you laminated that and then used a grease pencil.
Yeah.
And then you can stick it right to the hive.
I got to doing, Microsoft has like online forms that you can fill out if you have the Microsoft Office like subscription account. You can do online forms. And I've done it to where you have a QR code that I can actually print and laminate and put in the yard. When I get that yard, I can scan it with my phone and it will bring up like an inspection for the yard. And I can check off everything on there I need, hit submit, and it basically saves it online. So when I get home, I can pull a report on each yard and see if anything needed to be done.
Like right from your computer, huh? Without even pulling your phone out, everything's already like on your drive and everything.
So you can literally barcode your hive, scan it with your phone, document everything in your phone, save it. It's saved to the cloud. You pull it back down off the cloud in your house, and you can check it out and edit, do anything you need to do, put notes. And then when you get back to the hive, scan it, and you got your notes that you said you were going to do to that colony when you're right there on your phone.
Well, basically the way the forms work is almost like an online survey. So whenever I scan the barcode, it's just going to pull up a blank form. And then I would fill it out, and it sends it to the online thing. Then I could pull it up at home on my computer. But
That's cool.
I have one of the older Western Digital cloud drives, which they're going out of, I guess, compatibility. You got to buy a new cloud system they have now. And I plan on building a form on there to where I can actually access my hard drive from my phone and pull a form up that actually already has all the information on it.
You talking about these bad boys?
Yep.
I have 34 terabytes of these.
I got a couple of the 3 terabyte cloud drives, and then I have a couple of the 4 terabyte just external hard drives.
And I probably got 10 of the 6 terabyte Seagate drives.
Yeah.
It's a lot of data.
Now, I'm looking at buying an enclosure right now that will hold 10 hard drives, and I'm wanting to go with the Seagate, either the 4 or 6 terabyte network like backup drives.
Right, NAS storage drives.
Yeah.
The Red Wolf or whatever.
Yeah.
And poor Brian got more snow today.
That way, because like any video editing I do on my computer has SSD hard drive, and then I have an external SSD I use for a scratch disk. So it speeds up the editing. But once everything's edited and done, it would be basically offloaded of the SSD straight to a backup drive.
I think I've got that Evo 980 Pro in the M.2 SSD hard drive in this one. It's pretty fast.
Yeah, I got the 850 Evo in my laptop, and then I just have a SanDisk 500 gig SSD, just an external drive I got sitting on my desk. Yeah, basically like that.
Yeah, well, I got that. I got this. Another Western. I got so much crap, dude.
That right there.
Man, that's just all memory you guys have?
Yeah.
Storage. Yeah, but I was using the reason I have so many terabytes of hard drive is I was mining crypto with hard drive space.
Yeah.
So it took a long time to get them set up, and it's kind of crazy, but it was and then when I moved, I just didn't ever hook them back up and redo everything. But then I'm hearing feedback. There we go. Then I felt like, I was going to use them like a network storage for all the computers here, have them hooked up, but use them as a shared drive where everything was getting shared, files and pictures and everything from all the computers were getting stored in one location.
Well, I live in a double wide. I have a single wide next door that we had before the flood we had in 2016 here. Mm-hmm. Now I ripped everything out. That's just storage. But I still have a Dell 2950, not the blade server, Dell 2950 chassis server over there, and it holds 6 hard drives. Now I also have the Dell 1950 blade server, holds 10 blades, so 10 servers in one case, and each one of them holds 2 hard drives.
Oh, so you're a computer nerd also, Lee, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
The thing about the 1950 blade server, when you started it up, it sounded like a jet engine.
Yeah,
it had
fired up.
4 220 watt power supplies.
That's
I had a full 42U Dell server rack in my kitchen built into the wall.
That's awesome, dude. I need all the space I can get.
Go into your kitchen. You have to put on hearing protection.
Yes, I'm going to see real quick if I can find the picture on here.
AC set to sub-zero all the time, even in the winter.
I know, to keep the server cold.
Yeah. The
have your own separate cooling system for it.
hey, you haven't heard loud until you've gone into a cryptocurrency mining farm that's got ASIC miners in there.
Yeah,
How loud
those things are loud.
and
Got fans blowing on them and stuff, huh?
dude, I was into it so much that I was getting flown to people's facilities to set up their mining equipment and stuff. And like these guys, I got some friends of mine up in Iowa that they owned a chain of convenience stores. They still do, but they have all these convenience stores. Well, they were running their mining equipment in the convenience stores because all the electric bill was tax deduction on the business expense, right? Because it's being run through the business. So
yeah.
But they sent me up there and to set them up, and it was and check it out. And they were looking at expanded to like hundreds and hundreds of miners, and that's back when the crypto craze was really going on mining wise, and it's just it's crazy.
I found one of the pictures here. This is what I had built into the wall in my kitchen.
That's crazy.
And I done all the wiring and everything.
That's awesome.
I had in a single wide trailer, I had 3.5 500-foot boxes of network cable run.
Hey, speaking of prices, have you looked at the prices of mobile homes lately?
That they high.
Like $100,000 plus.
Mm-hmm.
For a single wide too. Nice ones.
We was looking at one after the flood of 16 that we had here, and it was 110,000 for it.
Used to be able to buy them for 30,000, 40,000. It's like buying a car.
My first double wide that I bought, it was a Fleetwood, in what they called the Entertainer Edition. It had the built-in entertainment center, flat screen TV, the big flat screen, not the flat panels now.
Right.
But now they're luxury.
And I think it was 43,000 brand new, but that was back in 2001.
Set up and delivered.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, that was my toy I had in the kitchen.
What did you use that thing for? Just file storage?
File storage. We had all of our laptops that were backed up to it, and then the kids played Minecraft, so all their friends would dial into the server, play Minecraft.
Minecraft.
Oh, nice.
With my connection speed and the Blade server, I could hold over 2,200 people playing Minecraft at one time with no lag. Now we never got nowhere near that many people, but with the speeds that I had, that's what it was calculated. 200 people it would hold at once.
That'd be nice to play on Minecraft without any lag.
Yeah.
You can beekeep in Minecraft.
Yeah, I have Minecraft. Yeah, I play it.
I've never played Minecraft. I used to be big into World of Warcraft, though.
We used to play the D&D online.
D&D.
Yeah.
Oh, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't get into those games, man. I play what I've been playing lately, Fortnite. So
I've played some Fortnite.
I'll smash on some Fortnite, man.
Well, guys, I got to get out of here. I got to get this honey labeled and get it loaded up.
All right.
You be good, Lee.
All right, y'all. Have a good evening. Thank you.
You too.
Bye.
Yeah, we've been on for 2 hours and 40 minutes, roughly.
God, you guys been on for a while tonight.
Yeah, it was just impromptu. I thought Craig was gonna stop by. Craig Branch.
Yeah,
He might be watching. I just haven't seen any comments, but
It's Saturday. I keep forgetting. No, today's Friday, right?
Yeah, it's Friday.
Oh,
And
okay.
I got 2 nights in a row. Ian stopped by and
Yeah, Ian's a busy man.
yeah,
That
I saw
guy
his
is,
video earlier. They got him speaking at all these conventions and stuff.
He's pretty important, man. What he's doing, man.
I tried to get him to
definitely
come on here and get him to tell me about if I fouled up or not. What I'm worried about is with the temperature drop that the bees won't come down to the bottom to help keep the queen warm because they're protecting the brood and keeping the brood warm up top.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of my worry. And then thinking back to the video that Black Mountain Honey did, is he actually had put 2 empty honey supers in between his brood chambers, right?
Yeah.
And I did not do that. So I'm thinking that maybe I'll be all right. And when it warms up, then I'll go back and put the supers between them. And try to do it that way and see, at this point I'm kind of stuck with what I've done. So I've got to stay the course, but we'll see, I mean, trial and error. I just hate that it could, if it's an error, it'd be on my best colony. And that's what I was trying to avoid, but live and learn.
If it's your best colony, maybe give them the benefit of the doubt even too, they'll.
Yeah. I think they'll do the right thing.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, they come down and, she did have some brood down there with her. So, but it was capped. It was capped brood. So there's not going to be that many bees wanting to stay around with capped brood that much.
Yeah. Yeah.
But maybe, some of them foragers and all come down there and start working. I know they started cleaning it out already because I already saw some of the like chill brood that was in some of that other foundation that I put in there that they were pulling out. So yeah, they're doing it. They're being bees, man. That's what they're best
supposed
at.
to do. Yeah, that's what they do, man.
Hopefully what I'll find is next week when it's warm that I'll have 4 or 5 good frames of cap brood in the bottom where she's at now, and everything will be just lovely. The bees will naturally divide themselves how they need to.
Yeah.
And keep the deal going, which who am I? I mean, I did the split, and they'll do what they're going to do. And and that's what I'm going to live with. And either way, it's a learning experience. It's the first time I've done that split. So I've learned that. And if it fails, it's the first time I failed doing that split. So I will have learned that. So
you did it on your strongest colony though, too, right?
Yeah. I had to do something because I was worried it was just going to swarm out, because
Kremlin moves to label Facebook an extremist organization.
Well, I'll agree with that scenario in some
degree. Sorry, I just saw a news flash. Sorry, dude.
Well, it's supposed to be, in my opinion, it was not supposed to be so regulated, and I feel like they censor behind the screens and block people on stuff they don't particularly agree with.
Yep.
And really, it's none of their damn business, But it is what it is.
Yeah.
We have the choice to not use Facebook, but
that's
it's just crazy.
It's like a double-edged sword almost.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I mean,
it's good for information, but
and so who knows if it's real, actual, and good information. And I just like to keep up with friends and stuff, post family. Other than that, sell my honey.
Yeah. That's it. That's what it's good for too. It's good if you paid like to use the business and stuff. It could serve its purpose if you go about it the right way. Definitely.
Oh, so my sister owns a tax business, right? I think I told you that before.
Yeah.
And I had posted that video that Earl put up, and she's like, "You think he could do one for my tax business? He could make money just writing jingles." I mean, today he did one for Mike Berry today.
I saw that. That was pretty nice of him.
So
Yep. I know. Earl's good people, man. That guy's got a good heart, man.
I'm surprised he didn't show up. He might be playing a gig, because sometimes I think he actually does that on the weekends, plays music. So
that guy's true hillbilly, man. I like that. That guy's like OG, legit true hillbilly, and that's so cool.
He's honest people, man. He's good people.
Yeah. Those guys are old school backwoods. Yeah, those guys. Yeah. They come from a long line of
Well, I mean, in a lot of senses, I mean, your word is you, right? I mean, that's how I live that way. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. If I make a promise to you, I'm gonna do it. I show up when I say I'm gonna show up. I'm that type of guy, So that's that's not a bad thing. But there's a lot of people that you got to watch how they phrase things. Oh yeah, I might do that means no, I'm not going to do it. you know?
Yeah.
And I'm just not that guy for the
Yeah.
most part.
Yeah.
Or if I can't do it after I said I was going to do it, I'll call and tell you I can't do it and why, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But at any rate, man, it's been going a while and we've talked a good bit today.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, how about we just call it here and call it a good Friday night at 11:30?
Yeah, we can do that.
And we'll do this again soon.
Yeah, let me know when you guys jump on next time. Drop me a text and I'll jump on with you guys a little bit earlier. I didn't see it. For some reason, I'm not getting your notifications.
That's because you blocked me.
I'm not. I didn't block you.
You unsubscribed. You don't get the notifications anymore.
No, I got
Just kidding.
everything squared away. But all right, man. I'll talk to you later, Bob.
All right. Well, y'all have a good night. Thanks for watching.
See ya.
And we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.